This episode is brought to you by Amazon Prime. Black Friday Game Day on Prime is an epic day of live sports. It all starts at 9 a.m. Eastern with the Capital One Skins game. Then, Black Friday football returns when the Bears take on the Eagles at 3 p.m. And it culminates with the final night of Emirates NBA Cup Group play with Bucks Knicks at 7 p.m. and Mavs Lakers at 10 p.m. Black Friday Game Day, only on Prime.
This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing the protection of an offensive guard on the football field, but getting an elementary school crossing guard. Sure, they're both guards, but you can only trust one to keep your quarterback safe when the game is on the line. So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Taping live from New York City, it's the show that is wishing you a very happy Thanksgiving. A day early, but since we're not working tomorrow, we're breaking out all of the segments today.
Yes.
Every single one.
It'll be power packed.
We've done that before.
We've done it before. It went great.
Did it though?
It got a huge number.
Did we really?
You don't
It's
remember?
a wild.
It got
wild.
Holy
It got a huge number.
People-
Also, our regular Wednesday franchise tiers, a little controversy.
Why?
One of the members of the committee, who I won't name,
Marshall.
was at no. Marshall fought against it, thank goodness,
Causes the ruckus.
because he was trying to get in Marshall's territory about tier names. He wanted to be like, the best team should be the turkey, and the second best team the ham, and the third best. I said,
like
we're not a dumb show.
You did that last year.
Exactly.
First hour, first things first. Today,
Did not go well.
a game that might set the viewing record for a regular season game. Will Patrick Mahomes call upon the power of the Bud list against the Cowboys tomorrow afternoon? Meanwhile, fresh edition of the hottest segment in all of sports, Upset Alert. Does Joe Burrow have the Ravens on Upset Alert? And finally, who should be thankful for a spot at the top of the best segment in all of sports, the committee's tiers, alongside Chris Broussard and Kevin Wildes? How did the committee meeting go outside of that?
Oh, it went great. It went great. There is a very clear number one right now in the NFL, and
Patriots.
the
10-2.
incorrect.
It's not the-
And thank you, Brew. There have been enough eliminations at this point. We can really hone
All the
in on
teams are
the
pretty
20-ish teams that are still alive.
Okay. We're starting with, I lifted the ban on puns today, for the record.
Okay.
The main course. Chiefs and Dallas. Mahomes looking to cook up this Dallas defense that has improved of late, while Dak tries to carve up a Chiefs defense that just shut down the Colts. Here's Dak on Mahomes. Take a listen.
At the end of the day, obviously, the talent jumps out, but you watch a guy who plays with pure passion, who'll do anything it takes to win. On the sideline, right, he's not necessarily always running out of bounds, trying to make the extra play, never giving up on a play, has the ability to throw it back across his body. He's just he does it all right. And what I respect most is just his will to win. And like I said, just you see it. He'll do anything and everything it takes.
He's a great guy. It's an odd question to ask you, and this would be a shocking upset and an amazing start to this show. Who would you rather have, Mahomes or Dak?
So these are the types of questions that make me mad. Because this is where, when I get my hair up and say, I think that we pretend, or we say, well, Patrick's in a different class, like he's judged by a different standard and all this because of all his accomplishments. It is then, to me, contradicted by, not only is this a very popular question this week, there is seemingly almost and not unanimous, but 80-20 answer. Well, obviously it's Dak. I mean, look at Dak's numbers this year. Look at what the Cowboys offense has done. Look, I said the other day I thought Dak was a second-team All-Pro quarterback, and this is where in 2009, I think it would have been ridiculous, even though that year Phillip Rivers had way better numbers than Tom Brady. If they were going into a game that both teams late in the season really needed, both teams for the most part healthy, nobody of major substance. Chiefs are missing their right guard. Trey Smith is a good player. Noah Gray, but it's not one team totally undermanned. Who would you rather have? I'd rather have the guy who's in the discussion for not only greatest quarterback ever, but in a two-man discussion for greatest big game quarterback ever, over a guy who the biggest question mark about him, fair or not, is big game performance. I don't care how good CD and George Pickens are. And so, for me, in a game both teams need, where both teams are coming off very, like, almost carbon copy type of wins, home victories, come from behind against teams they're chasing, stirring, late victories, I will take Patrick Mahomes to find a way, and I would rather have Patrick Mahomes on Thursday than Dak or Josh or Lamar or anybody, because he's the right answer to these questions.
Well, look, the numbers this year, we all know Dak's numbers have been better. You see on the screen, second in passer rating. Mahomes is 16th. All right, so barely above league average. I think 1 point ahead of league average. Here's the thing, though, Nick. It's not just this year. Let's look at the last 3 years. Statistically, Dak is way better, in everything. Touchdown percentage is higher. Obviously, passer rating. Yards is close, but, he's better. Not way better in everything, but he's been better over the last 3 seasons than Mahomes. So that said, give me Patrick.
Yeah.
Give me Patrick.
Yeah, of course.
In backs against the wall, must win. Everybody's watching on Thanksgiving Day. Mm-hmm. Huge game.
Patrick's home stadium that he's never played in. Like he's from there. Right. Played there in college and in high school.
Yeah, there's no question, and Nick said it, Dak, as great as he's been in the regular season in some of these seasons, his playoff performances have not been great. And Mahomes, as great as he's been in
playoffs. It's not the playoffs.
It is. This is a playoff game. This is essential.
Weird, but it's
it
not.
is a huge game. If Dallas loses, they're probably done. If the Chiefs lose, they might be done. This is as much of a regular season playoff
every
game
game's a must-win
as you can pretty much
right?
get.
KW, isn't that what your athletic playoff predictor tells us?
I haven't gone through everything on the athletic playoff predictor, but these are important games. I think the Lions game is actually probably more important.
Yes, I bet you the phrase playoff game has been uttered within both franchises.
Okay. Dustin told us if they lose, they're down to 6%.
Well,
so
only
playoff adjacent, right? They're only at like 13 right now.
Can I make the argument?
Let me show you something.
All right.
This is Mahomes and Dak in playoff games.
Thank you.
This is do their numbers improve in the playoffs over their regular season career numbers? Dak's playoff numbers go down in every single category. Mahomes' go up. So don't give me that, playoffs, you're playing better teams. They're supposed to go down. Mahomes' go up. So in a huge game, and this is no slight on Dak, but he ain't Patrick Mahomes.
I think this is a fair point about big games. I don't want to be argumentative. I want to disagree, but not be disagreeable. It's not a playoff game.
No, but
it's just Thanksgiving.
Okay, go ahead.
And we've done this. We like to do this Mahomes or the other quarterback question. We kick it around. And a lot of times it's like, remember what Patrick Mahomes did yesteryear?
Last week?
What about Sunday?
Right.
What
How about that?
Because what with the question?
What about 2 Sundays ago?
No, I get it.
Sunday, he was okay.
No.
He threw an interception at the goal line and no touchdowns.
No, I'm asking
the game winning.
And scored 20 points in regulation.
KW, I'm just asking you this. If we did this question, who would you rather have Sunday, Mahomes or Daniel Jones?
I would have taken Mahomes.
Well, okay, but all of the arguments for taking Dak would have applied to Daniel Jones.
All the arguments. Okay, if we did Bo Nix, was that not a big game?
No.
Bo Nix versus Patrick Mahomes. Bo Nix outplayed him. Was Josh Allen a big game? Josh Allen outplayed him. Was the Prince a big game? Not really, but the Prince outplayed him. Jalen Hurts outplayed him at home with needing to avenge the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts outplayed him. After you lose the Super Bowl.
How about Josh or Jared Goff?
Justin Herbert outplayed him. Like the idea that a quarterback who is not reputationally as good as Patrick Mahomes can't outplay him.
None of those games were as big as this.
The Broncos game was
They
huge.
need if the Chiefs lose this game, I know what the numbers will say. They might miss the playoffs. Strong possibility they miss the playoffs.
Can I do the quick home? And Mahomes hasn't been good on the road. We can say it's like an aberration. We can say it's just something strange. He hasn't been good on the road, and Dak has been amazing at home. So the fact that he has already lost a handful of games to quarterbacks who aren't in his caliber, and he's on the road and has underachieved, and Dak is excellent at home.
Is he?
Dak?
Yeah.
I don't know, 13 touchdowns,
what was the
3
last
turnovers.
big game at home? Was it that Green Bay playoff game?
It's not.
When he was,
if you were to
this
say
is a play. I mean, I get. Of course, it's not officially a playoff
beating
game.
the world champions last week, I think, is a big game.
I
keep your
agree.
season afloat.
I agree, and I think Dak's been excellent. But what, KW?
Nothing. I'm just, if we're talking, if it's the playoffs,
No,
I'm not. I
I'm
don't
just
know what to
saying,
do.
for all intents and purposes, to me, it's a
must win.
I'm not trying to use Dak's playoff resume against him as much as I am trying to. I will just go to last week, because the argument, if we would have said going into last week, hey, how can you make the case for Mahomes? Here's Daniel Jones's numbers this year. Here's Patrick's numbers this year. Here's Daniel Jones has Jonathan Taylor. Patrick, doesn't have anything a weapon close to that. Here's the Colts offense this season, number 1 in everything. And you can, I feel like you are bending your own math on how you typically grade quarterbacks in saying Patrick was okay on Sunday. I think for any other quarterback that we discuss, if it's no matter how they get down the 11 points, and Patrick was a part of that, the 95, like yesterday on the show, and this is again, like Coach banged on Mahomes for executing a 97-yard game-tying drive because it wasn't a game-winning drive in a game they ended up winning. So that feels to me like we are twisting ourselves a bit here.
But you think Mahomes would come off the field like I crushed it?
No, he didn't crush it.
No, but it was on that drive, on a 10 out of 10 degree of difficulty, 10 out of 10 stakes drive, he had an 8.8 out of 10 performance. They started on the 3. They got down to the 2. They down 3. A touchdown would have ended the game. Yeah. And then when he got the ball again, he just drove him down for the victory.
That one I liked.
I do think with last week, Dak has just obviously been way better than Daniel Jones for their careers.
Yes.
So I don't think it's a apples to apples. Like Jones, even though he's been better statistically this year, maybe, but nobody you know what I mean? Like you could easily say, I'm still taking Patrick. Dak does have a resume. It's just not comparable to Mahomes.
I guess here would be my thing before we move on, KW. And you can say this is foolish or wrong or I'm being a homer, but this is why I brought up the Brady thing. When we were in the midst of Tom, it, to me, would have been ridiculous to go into a game against anyone other than maybe Peyton at his peak or Rodgers when Rodgers at his peak against a good but not legendary quarterback and be like, you know what, this week, I'll take Donovan. I'll take Phillip Rivers. I'll take one of these other good occasional Pro Bowl quarterbacks over the guy who is one of, if not the greatest ever who's in his prime, even if he is having a statistical dip, which Brady did. And so, that's the point. I just think
I guess that's hard to argue with, but I don't know how we're not talking about Tom Brady. So it's tough. I don't think Mahomes is Tom Brady. I think he's a very good quarterback. I don't think he is on Tom Brady's level.
But but if you remove Tom Brady,
it's not. I'm actually saying normal stuff in this segment. I don't know what's going on.
He's not on Tom Brady's level.
No, it's not a playoff game tomorrow, and the guy who has 7 Super Bowls is not on.
Okay, then fine. All right, then that's fine. Then remove Tom. Let's say I was saying Peyton Manning or Peyton's a tough one, but or Joe Montana.
To me,
no, I mean if Tom Brady didn't exist, you think Patrick Mahomes in conversation for the greatest quarterback ever,
Brady.
Right?
Brady is the only this game tomorrow. Brady is the one quarterback I would take over Mahomes.
So what are we going to do if Dak plays? If Dak throws for 300 yards, George Pickens has 140 yards and a touchdown, and they beat him, we're like, oh my gosh.
It's a
Pigs
great,
are flying.
Great
The
win.
world is turning on the wrong
to
axis.
me, it would show
it's very
that
seeable.
It would show. No, it could happen.
Of course could happen.
I think Dallas could beat them. I'm just saying, if you give me the choice of quarterback, to me, it's a no-brainer.
Patrick Mahomes' passer rating in his last 3 games, 57, 80, 77. It's not like he's on some historic heater. He's won in his last 3 games. He's won 1.
So what's your answer?
Obviously, Dak.
And so and obviously the Cowboys tomorrow are going to win.
I think the Cowboys are going to win. Yes, I think Dak is going to Dak, who is playing super hot football. George Pickens, who's super hot at home, I think is going to beat Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong, but if we can't.
No, look.
What are you frustrated about, bro?
We picked Patrick. We know Patrick Mahomes not going undefeated through the season, but every time we try to make an argument that, like, hey, this could happen, like this guy
No.
has been to 3 Super Bowls.
I think you are just, to me, misconstruing the difference between either who you got or can the Cowboys win, and which quarterback would you rather have. And what I am saying is the answer for me, and again, you can say that it's the wrong, this would have been true 3 years ago. It's not true now. The answer for me if I could pick any quarterback to play in a game his team's got to have that's available right now, I will take Patrick. I will take if they were playing the Rams and Stafford has 30 touchdowns and 2 picks in a game the Chiefs have to have, I will say, you know what? Give me Patrick. I don't think that's a crazy take, and I think that the twisting and pretzels to, listen, Patrick Mahomes is a very good quarterback. That's what made Brew's eyebrows raise. That's not, if he were just a very good quarterback, then I would agree with you. But one of your tenets is legendary players do legendary things.
I don't think tomorrow is a legendary moment. I think it's a very big game.
I mean, you just said it might be the most watched football game ever. It's Thanksgiving against the Cowboys in one of the biggest regular season spots the Chiefs have had against a team that really needs it. I think it's a huge game.
I think Dak's performances in, to me, big games, playoff games.
If you think this is like Dak is going to crumble under the pressure of this game.
No, I don't. I just want to see him be great. That's all I'm saying. I'm not expecting him to crumble, but let's see if he's great, because he hasn't been great in most of his playoff
Patrick
games.
might be bad. We know the moment won't be the reason. And that's what Brew, I think, is saying. If Patrick's bad, there could be a bunch of reasons. It won't be he got tight. He got nervous. The moment was too big.
And I might take Stafford if it was the Rams against. I might say Stafford, or I might say Josh.
If this was Rams Chiefs, your answer would still be Mahomes.
My answer, I think that if you have one of the, albeit because I don't want to argue with you, one of the 3 greatest ever, and he is not physically compromised, and he is in his age prime. And you're like, would you rather have him or anyone else that isn't one of the 3 greatest ever? My answer will be that guy.
Oh, then it's hard. Then we're kind of arguing past each other. It's okay, but like Stafford is like playing out of his mind.
Stafford's playing out of his mind. And if it's Chiefs-Rams in the Super Bowl, I will say, and Stafford has just won a unanimous MVP, and Patrick was the 7 seed with that passer rating. I'll say, listen, I'll take Patrick. It doesn't always come true.
You know another guy you might take?
Jalen. I knew he was going to say Jalen.
Yep. Well, yeah, take Jalen. So there's a few guys. I'm just saying Dak, he hasn't been awesome in big games. All right.
Trevor Lawrence. Justin Herbert. All guys who have beaten Patrick Mahomes this year. Okay. I'm just adding Dak to the list of potential candidates.
Their teams beat Mahomes. And both did outplay him. I'll give you that.
Okay. Travel to Baltimore. Joe Burrow is hungry to get on the field since he's been on the couch since mid-September. Lamar giving thanks to his defense, which has delivered 3 wins since he returned and played un-Lamar-like. Here's Burrow and Lamar talking about their recent injuries.
I'm a football player. I get paid a lot of money to go and play a game with my friends. I'm not going to ever go to somebody and say, I'm healthy, but I don't think I should go out there and play. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I'm not gonna live my life and play this game scared of something happening.
I don't think about that. We win, so that's what it's all about. I can't control the injury. Things like that happen. Unfortunately, it's just happening for the wrong time, I believe. But we winning, so that's all my focus on.
It was interesting. Here's their career head-to-head. Lamar dominating 6 wins 2-1. Brew, are you worried about the Ravens and Burrow's return?
Not worried, but my antennas are up. I'm at attention now. And I'm sure the Ravens are the same way. What was going to be most likely an easy win is now going to be a tough win. And I think the defense will be the difference. Baltimore's defense, we know how well they're playing. And Cincinnati's defense is, without question, the worst. And as many bad defenses as there are in the league, they are by far the worst. They can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass. They give up the most points. They are a horrible defense, and I think that'll be the difference. As well as, it's not just that Lamar has owned the Bengals, 10-1 against them, 6-1 against Burrow, but Burrow is not great for whatever reason. He's not great coming off rest or the off season or whatever. Here's the graph. Now, these are his first games of the season for his career. All right? 76 passer rating.
This year he was healthy.
This year they were 2-0 and didn't play well.
He did not
and
play
he did
well.
the preseason this year.
Oh,
Remember they tried to switch it up. They're
and they did win those games, but
he wasn't good.
Not
the
good.
5-5 TD interception ratio. He is clearly a rust guy over rest. And so I'm not expecting, now maybe he'll play well. I'm not expecting Joe Burrow, the Joe Burrow that we all know and respect at his best to be there tomorrow. I'm expecting a rusty, plays okay Joe Burrow. But look, it's Joe Burrow, so their antenna should be up, and I'm sure it is, but I think the Ravens will pull it out.
So, Brew, you and I were going the same place on Burrow, which is he's just – he in particular this applies to, but I think we do a bad job with this in general with athletes and across sports, which is assume guy who was out for a long time with injury, when they're back, they're going to be their regular self. Right. And that is just so rarely the case. But Burrow in particular, when you also add to it our knowledge that he takes a few weeks in a season to kind of get into a froth, that makes me feel like you guys, obviously you're more worried about him than Flacco, because Flacco seemed to have cooled off a bit. But I don't think you're getting peak Joe Burrow. What I am most interested in this game, KW, is I think the Bengals defense is still awful, truly terrible. And if historically Lamar has put up cartoonish stat lines against awful defenses. Yeah. It's not that he hasn't done well against really good defenses, but the game where it's he had more touchdowns than incompletions and had a 148 passer rating. One of those 17 of 21, 5 touchdowns, 220 yards, something like that. And if we don't see that this week, then I would be very concerned about is for one reason or another, is Lamar post-hamstring injury and then hamstring to knee to ankle to toe just not going to cook the way he has?
I'll say this.
Yeah, then I'm going to throw a wrench in the system. Go ahead.
Okay. Even these last 4 weeks, when we know Lamar and the offense haven't looked great, they still are averaging 25 points a game. They still would be, over the course of the season, the 9th highest scoring team in the football. So that's with them not playing well. So I agree. I don't have to necessarily, it'd be great to see Lamar throw 4 touchdowns and, a 140 passer rating. But I do need to see much better than we've seen over these last. I want to see Lamar if Lamar throws 2 touchdowns, has a high passer rating, but Derrick Henry is the guy and he just runs all over him, I'll feel totally good about that.
I'd like to take one take chip on and put it on the board. Ooh, that's not going to hit. I'm still putting it on the board. Bengals defense, just because I was locked into Patriots-Bengals, not as bad as you think. Bengals defense shows improvement in multiple areas. Al Golden implores group for more of it down the stretch. Here's the stat from Jay Morrison. Golden's group is allowing teams to convert goal-to-go chances into touchdowns just 65% of the time, which is 5th best. Patriots got stopped. Patriots were 0-2 on goal to go. Steelers were 1-2 the previous week. The Bears had a field day, ran for 283. We're going crazy, obviously, won in that long pass. I'm just saying, watching that game, I was like,
no,
I
can't. Hold on.
I'm putting it out there. Not as bad as you think.
Listen,
they're last in not as bad as you think.
Everyone.
Not as bad.
All right, Wilds said earlier he wants to disagree, not be disagreeable. I'm going to be disagreeable for a moment. There is an element of watching a team play the Patriots that for you perverts how you view that team.
Fair point.
Because you are unable.
The Bills do stink. The Bills do stink. The Bills aren't good. I didn't say never said stink. There is that,
but then there's also the Patriots only scored 19 points, and the Patriots got stopped on 8 consecutive goals from the 1-yard line. It can't be that the Patriots might not be quite, and I like the Pats, might not be quite as good as their 10-2 record suggests. It must be that the Bengals all of a sudden have a good defense.
And Sports Illustrated.
No, the Sports Illustrated, KW, you just stumbled across that, or you searched, or you were looking
I searched
for
the Bengals.
you looked for the one take.
Hey, it's true.
Confirmed.
They're getting better. Most motivational segment, all sports, next on FS1, the Fox Sports Channel on Sirius XM.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
What's on your holiday list?
He's cute. He's
a great quarterback. I'm not just willing to say he's
very good.
You said KW's mad.
He's put
When I'm talking about Dak versus Mahomes, you're like, here's a conversation that I'll win. How about if Phillip Rivers played Tom Brady? I'm like, we're not talking about that.
Well,
Black Friday special.
On Black Friday.
On Friday. Coach, you're looking great.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Time now for the most motivational segment in all of sports, the Bud List. Also the time where we read some viewer mail that we get every day. Dear Wilds, happy Thanksgiving. Well, thank you. Love the show. Did Brew continue his hot streak over the course of last week's Bud List? Well, thank you very sincerely, Ryan and Brian, as always. Let's take a look at the Bud List standings, or really the results. Brew, you kind of walked yourself into a loss.
Well, I knew,
here.
obviously, I was going to have a loss unless the Colts and Chiefs tied. But look, I don't count that against the momentum of the Bud List because somebody had to lose. And Jones had his team in position to win.
Oh.
So I think that's a
tied in regulation.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't look at that. I just had, if I had Mahomes and Jones reversed and Jones was at the top of the Bud List, then I think it'd be an L. But
Brew, you deprived yourself of a chance to stay perfect.
I know, but it's about the integrity. Actually, it's about the integrity of the Bud List. It is about who is under pressure. It's not about me. The Bud List isn't about my motivational magnificence.
Okay.
It's about who's under pressure, and hopefully they get motivated, coach, but it's about the players or the coaches, not Brew. So here we go. All right, at number 3, we getting right into it. Dak. Because this is, contrary to popular opinion on this show, a playoff game, Dak. You lose this.
He's not out.
You're not. I don't think you're getting in at 10-6-1. All right, of course, I know it's not officially a playoff game, but for all intents and purposes, this is your season. Now, you have had a phenomenal season, second best ever. His second best season. 2023, it was better. Yep. You finished second in MVP race that year. But I would say this. That season obviously ended ugly in the loss at home to Jordan Love in his first ever playoff game in the Packers in the AT&T Stadium in Texas. But if you can just get the Cowboys into the playoffs, I think a lot of people would look at this as thus far the shining moment of his career. Like if he just after that slow start.
Oh, if they make the playoffs this year?
If he beats, you got to beat the Chiefs, I believe, to do it. And if you do that and then get the Cowboys into the playoffs, I think it'll be your shining moment thus far, almost regardless of what will happen in the playoffs, although you would take a ding for another bad performance. But here it is. You got a chance to beat Mahomes and the Chiefs and maybe end their season and extend yours. Dak, good luck. All right, at number 2, I don't care about my record. All right, it's who needs the motivation, Coach. And Patrick Mahomes, I'm shocked that I'm the only one that thinks if the Chiefs, I know what the computers say. I know what the analytics nerds say. And all of that, the algorithm and the football indexes and all that. And I know 11-6 can theoretically and should get you into the playoffs. But my thing is this. If you lose to the Cowboys, who still, I get it that the defense has improved somewhat, but it's still, in my book, toothless. All right? It's not a great defense. If you lose to them and you really need this game, then I can't be confident you're going to win out. When you got Houston, you got the Chargers,
and they would
you got
have to
Denver.
win out. The Cowboys have to win out right now.
Yes.
If the Chiefs lose, they're not
They
dead,
pretty much
but
gotta
they have
win
to
out.
win out moving forward.
Like, they could have a better record, and it's a good chance they have a better record than the winner of the AFC North.
Correct.
But
and miss
you
the
still
playoffs.
wouldn't get the playoffs.
Correct.
So this is a big moment, Patrick. And I'll say this. I brought it up somewhat about Dak. I mean, obviously, Patrick hasn't achieved beyond, whatever we could imagine. However, if he were to, obviously not just get them in the playoffs, but if he were to get them to the Super Bowl and win it, and we all know that's on the table if they get in the playoffs, I think a lot of people might say this was his greatest achievement. Maybe. Now, he's had tons of great achievements, but to come back from the dead, if you will, I mean, to come back from 5-5 when everybody thinks you're done, the dynasty's over, you're not Patrick Mahomes that we used to know, and win the Super Bowl, that would be huge. Patrick, I believe in you. At number 1, Lamar Jackson. Now, Lamar, look, I know he kind of admitted it, Wilds, in that clip we showed.
Yeah.
That, hey, it came at the wrong time, but I'm out there, I got to play better. I applaud you for not putting a big emphasis on your injury. Some players might be like, well, I'm banged up, but hey, I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna do my best. But yeah, my foot's not what it used to be, and I can't run like I used. I applaud you for not doing any of that. And you're right. When you're on the field, you got to produce. I don't care if you're banged up. I don't care if you're hurt. And this is a get-right game if there ever was one. This defense in Cincinnati, contrary to what Wilds thinks, is the worst defense in football by a large margin. A large one. They can't stop the run, so Derrick Henry should be able to go wild. They can't stop the pass, so you should be able to have a great game. And what have they given up 35 points, I believe it was, in the last few games. All right, so this is a get-right game for you, Lamar. And the defense has supported you and is playing well. And so now you guys have to pick it up. And if you can get close to the real Lamar, the superstar Lamar, then you guys are really starting to build toward being able to make some noise and be a real Super Bowl contender in the AFC. Lamar Jackson, I believe in you.
Well, I'm thankful for the Bud list. I mean, regardless of Thanksgiving, you should, on your IMDb page, you should have Master of Motivational Magnificence on it because it's just so good.
Thank you.
But I'm gonna add a friend of yours, someone near and dear to your heart. I'm adding Brock Purdy to the Bud list.
Wow, that's
and here's why. If Carolina could have done anything with those 3 interceptions, I really believe we'd be talking about the fact that he got yanked in this game, that Brock Purdy had gotten taken out, and will he start the next week? Is there a quarterback hunt? All those things, but Carolina couldn't capitalize on it, which was his saving grace. But things are very different going into this weekend. But I want to just show you where Brock Purdy is right now. So he's played a total of 4 games. He had a really good game against Arizona, but outside of the Arizona game, he's at a 67.6 completion percentage. That's not terrible, but we're talking about 5 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and a 77.4.
Coach, get with me.
I get it. So there's that, and then you roll into Cleveland, and what's Cleveland done this season? Well, Cleveland's done a lot of things, and they've created a lot of problems for quarterbacks. They've created a lot of problems for offenses. But you can see second, third. On third down percentage, they're third. In the red zone, they're 7th, but over the last 3 games, they've been 2nd in the red zone, so that's going to be a problem. Turnover or takeaways, they're 9th. So they can create a ton of issues, and the way he's been playing, if it doesn't get a lot better, maybe this is another situation where we're talking about the possibility of Mac Jones coming in.
Coming in the game.
Well, if we roll into 3 interceptions again, Shedeur Sanders is going to have a whole week of practice, so that should, we should be scoring 30 in Cleveland with a full week of practice. So you got that component of it. And then you got Myles Garrett, in honor of Stranger Things. They've tweeted out that, Myles is getting ready to set his sights on the next target to send the upside down list.
Upside down.
And so Myles is ready, and Myles has, he's on Brew's ballot, so there's that.
I think that's very fair, Coach, and I agree with everything you said. And I am under the belief, now, I don't think he'll do what he did last week, but if he were to go out there and throw 3 first-half interceptions and they find themselves in a ball game, I don't think a benching would be out of the question.
How about 1 early one?
I don't think you bench him after 1.
I don't think it's 1. I think if it's the same pattern that we saw last week, where you're coming off the sideline after the 3rd one, and that's with them dropping 2 more.
Right. Yeah, no, that's definitely a fair one.
So, and by the way, it's going to be snowy in Cleveland, reportedly. Good for you. Nice little Thanksgiving weather for you.
I'm going to be in Cape Cod.
Oh, wow. Look at you. KW.
It's time now for one of the best segments in all of sports, the Sports Media Ombudsman. Tune in.
Thank you,
tuned.
KW. So, was everyone listening to what Bruce said in the Bud List intro? It's not about him. It's about the integrity of the Bud List.
Of course.
That's what I used to think too, bro.
What?
Which is why I sadly have to put you on the Bud List because of who's missing. And you guys can review, Brew is selfishly abusing his Bud List power. Because no one is under more duress this week than Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, who missed last week for spitting in Jalen Ramsey's face, whose team, with Wilds' make-believe resurgent defense, could have beaten the best team in football, the Patriots, who now, Joe Burrow, is back from injury that we all thought was going to be out until at least mid-December, if not the whole year. And T. Higgins is not going to be able to play because he got hurt when you were off work. So why isn't Jamar Chase on there? Because Brew knows that the Bud List has been undefeated and doesn't want anything to disrupt his beloved Ravens' trek back to the AFC North title. I know it. You know it. Everyone knows it. That the tie went to, well, this would hurt my Ravens. And I would never question your integrity, but it disappoints me, Brew, to see you abusing the power of the undefeated Bud List like this.
Here's what I'll give you. Lamar doesn't necessarily have to be number 1. Right? It's the Bengals. Is he under more duress than Mahomes and Dak? That's arguable. You can argue that. Here's the problem where I think you missed it. Is Jamar Chase under that much pressure?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's going to blame. They got 8 losses. If they lose, they're supposed to lose.
Fine, then put Zach Taylor on there. He's under pressure. Put some Bengal on there.
That's the only place, but,
It seems like he's admitting it. That's fine.
Yeah, not bad. I am going to the world of college basketball and putting Thanksgiving at the University of Connecticut under duress. They play a Friday game down the street at Madison Square Garden against number 13 Illinois. So Dan Hurley's like, you know what? We're not going to be all stuffed to play the Illini, actually having Thanksgiving today. And here's his rationale. Take a listen.
We're going to celebrate our Thanksgiving on Wednesday as a team. We're going to eat what's in the turkey, Bobby? No. What makes people sleepy? Tryptophan. So we're not going to eat the tryptophan on Thursday and be sluggish as on Friday. So we're going to eat the tryptophan, the turkey and everything on Wednesday, so that all the tryptophan is out of our system by the time we get to MSG.
Not actually how it works, but I liked it.
How does it work? I don't know.
See, this is the thing. I had to spend part of my day looking up tryptophan. Tryptophan is oftentimes sort of the culprit when you're also eating just a ton of food and a ton of carbs.
Regardless of what it is.
Yes, turkey doesn't have that much more tryptophan than beef or chicken, but you're never just feasting, so then turkey gets the blame and the mashed potatoes are off scot-free. So, enjoy Thanksgiving today. UConn Huskies. Coming up next, the Eagles bouncing back.
You didn't have an addition?
That's what it was.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Nick
Purina believes no one should have to make the impossible choice between their own safety and their pets. But nearly half of domestic abuse survivors delay leaving because they can't bring their pets with them. Through the Purple Leash Project, Purina is helping create more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters so survivors and their pets can escape and heal together. Visit Purina.com/purple to learn more.
8-3 Bears at the 8-3 Eagles. Same record, but the champs are touchdown favorites. Chicago has won 8 of their last 9. Eagles coming off a disappointing loss in Dallas. Nick, do you expect the Eagles to get back on track?
No. I expect them to win, but I think I think the offense is just the offense. And we just today, our producer Dusty was reading a quote from great longtime guest on Colin Cowherd's show, Greg Cosell. And I was coming down the hall, it was contextless, but I heard Dusty say, the offense has no identity, doesn't seem to know what it's doing, something like that. And I just said, I was like, you talking about the Eagles? And he's like, yeah. But I had it was just like, I didn't guess, to your point, the Titans or anyone. It's like, oh, it's probably the Eagles.
To be fair, most of the conversations Dusty has about the Eagles.
That's a good point.
We're like Dusty focused on the show.
Did he have his Eagles hat on, colors and all that?
And all that's true. And I've been showing you guys this 3-and-out stat all year.
I know, but it's
this is better telling. One, KW.
Better than the...
Well, Jalen said, too, that they are lacking an identity offensively.
But what about the last decade? Teams most likely to go 3-and-out. That's the last decade. That's Jared Goff's rookie year with Jeff Fisher.
Okay, I see.
That is a Ryan Tannehill when he got injured year with the Titans. That is Belichick's final year with the Pats when they're going back and forth, Mac and Zappe. And that is a Darnold injury, Adam Gase Jets team.
Can I make this even worse?
And then the Eagles.
I thought about, because I was thinking about your graphic.
Yeah.
This is even worse because they only need 9 yards.
Right. Oh, that's right.
They actually only need 9 yards.
Right, because they will. If they were facing a 4th and 1, they'd tush push it. So that is just. It is stunning, and it's a testament to them that they're winning. You know, But to me, because they're 8-3, so off track implies it's not just about the win-loss record for the question. At least to me, it's about, will the offense look functional? And I don't think so, even against a Bears team that's down its linebackers, that hasn't been good defensively.
Yeah, I think that they do have an identity, and one of the biggest problems last week is they went away from it, so they had to make everybody happy. So AJ got his 10 targets, Devontae got his 11 targets, Saquon got his 10 carries. So everybody's happy, and they do something they haven't done in 26 years, which is blow a 21-point lead. So maybe the running game isn't what it should be or what it used to be, That's fine. Give Tank Bigsby some more shots at it. And I don't think Saquon may have a little bit of hurt feelings, but it's going to be hard to have that many hurt feelings when you haven't produced like you produced in the past. So let's see whether or not that works. But they have a formula that's been pretty consistent and has worked pretty well. And now we're putting our finger in the hole, trying to plug up the different holes, trying to make people happy. That's not going to work. That's just going to generate more and more problems than just trying to fix the thing that they've done well historically.
Yeah, I'm more with Coach. I think they get back on track, which is a win. And that's how I was thinking about it, as a win. I don't think the offense will look fantastic, but I think they'll win. And I just think the hand-wringing about the offense is just a little overblown. They've still beaten the Chiefs. They've still beaten the Rams. They've still beaten the Buccaneers. Like, they are still beating very good teams.
Sure.
I'm glad I didn't hear squawking out of the locker room this week. Now, again, like Coach said, AJ's probably fine. You know, he got his 8 catches, 110 yards or whatever it was, a touchdown. Yeah, so, but I think Jalen will play well, and I agree with Coach. I think Bigsby's going to get more carries. And look, Saquon, this is professional football. We love Saquon. You were great last year. You've been great in your career, but you are not producing. And he does have the character and integrity where even if he's hurt inside, which he will be because he's a human being, he's not going to make a big deal out of it. And but look, Bigsby's been running well.
And someone coming into your spot and lighting it up, that can light a pretty significant fire
under
too.
You. Yep. So I think they look, and I think the Bears are stepping up in weight class, and they're not ready.
I agree with that. Can I show you a graphic? This was a hypothesis that I had that we usually hold towards Derrick Henry, that he'll break these long runs late. So this is Saquon last year and this year rushes. So just his rushes are down. Games with 25 or more, he had 5 last year, only 1 this year. They are winning. So remember last year Jalen never needed to throw because they were up at the half. So 20 long runs, 20 or more. He had 17 last year, only 2. But 14 of 17 came in the second half where he's getting a lot. So there's 2 ways to look at it. One is we've got the lead, so he's just going to get more touches. The second idea, and tell me if you buy it, is maybe he needs some time to warm up. Maybe he needs some time to see the holes. Maybe the defensive line gets a little bit tired. To buy that the way to Saquon's success is actually give him more touches, not less.
Yeah, typically running backs do, especially really elite running backs, do continue to get better, and that's because defenses, as the game goes on, they wear down as well. So there is something to that. In terms of his long runs, look, when he gets the edge, when he gets a clean hole, the odds of anybody catching him are very small. He hasn't gotten as many of those, but yeah, I'm a firm believer that you continue to put body blows on people and eventually wears them down.
He's also been a guy, even in New York, where he might get 3 yards here, 4 yards there, 2 yards, and then pop one. That's what's lacking this year.
I want to on Saquon, I think it is a combination of he is not as explosive as last year. He is a little beat up. The offensive line isn't as dominant, and now it's in so there's a lot of factors to it that I don't know just pressing the Saquon button more fix. It might still be smart to do. I don't think it gets him back anywhere close to last year. If I can have 30 seconds to defend A.J. Brown for a second, because I know we are acting as if A.J. Brown does not care about winning, that it is purely, I got my touches, so I'm happy. Maybe that's true.
I mean, he said kind of that, not that exactly, but his
he didn't say I don't. After the Super Bowl, he said winning a Super Bowl didn't satisfy me. I get my satisfaction from dominating, but it doesn't. I think it is a bridge too far to then assume a game that they lost, but he got his numbers he's happy about. I don't know that. Maybe that's true.
Yeah, I'm not so much saying that. I'm glad he didn't say anything this week, but it's interesting.
I haven't been on Twitch.
Hold on.
But he was saying stuff after wins.
I get, but what?
And now you lose, but you had numbers.
Okay, but if he would have said something, we'd have gotten mad. So, right? If he said something after this game, we'd have said it's another distraction.
I just think it's more appropriate to say it after this game than after a win.
Okay, and and I think that very well is likely true. The point I am trying to make is this. he has not been wrong that there's something wrong with the offense. And I will continue to harp on, it sure feels to me like a lot of people in that locker room agree with him. And he is being the public face of sounding the alarm that there is something wrong with the offense. But the most expensive offense in the history of pro football, with all pro players all over the place, being on a list with Adam Gase's Jets and Jared Goff's rookie year Rams, there's something wrong there. The fact that only the Titans have had more scoreless halves this year, there is something wrong there. And so I don't think it's purely, it might be selfish, but he might not be wrong about it.
Right, but the things you point to, the offensive line and the run game. And Saquon, like that's what you would say. It's not Jalen whose numbers are way down. It's Saquon's and the offensive line.
Oh, Hilton stay, your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. Enjoy comfortable rooms and friendly service when you stay with Hilton instead. Save up to 25% this season when you book with Hilton. Hilton for the stay. Terms apply.
Live from New York. It's a show that, and it wasn't me, floated out Mac Jones coming in mid-game in Cleveland.
It was Coach, because he's right.
Well, I don't think Brock's going to be that bad.
It would be a good opportunity if he does for Mac to redeem his last really bad weather game performance. The wind game.
He won that game.
Yeah, but it derailed.
But hold on, the Brock just won his game. He's been killing him.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't throw 3 interceptions.
KW.
A win's a win.
Brew, there's a little budding rivalry on that side of the table.
I am also debuting a more manicured Mahomes take.
Oh, okay. Well,
I went out and had a lifesaver.
You got some bad. You got some bad.
Well, I didn't know you guys were going to be
some negative text
out of your mind.
The way you ripped him in the first.
I was expecting
segment.
rational arguments. Today we're counting down to Chiefs-Cowboys. Here are the take about Mahomes that will blow your mind. Meanwhile, can Joe Burrow finally get his second win over Lamar? The other subtext here, Lamar is 6-1 against Joe Burrow. You're like, you know what? Right there. 2 QBs, both on the Mount Rushmore of QBs.
I might lean
haven't won. Oh, there you go. But right now you're in for a real treat. Last night.
No shot. No shot. The prompter is. Oh wait, is it gonna work?
There it is.
Let's see. No shot, buddy.
I had all these good jokes.
No, just read it off.
You got
there.
a freestyle again.
Read it off there.
Last
I want
night.
to hear it.
We got to get
in
it.
an old turkey slaughterhouse,
Okay.
while Instacarting ingredients for a series of pies, an elite committee of analysts, savants, and cranberry sauce aficionados fought and toiled and burned the midnight oil to deliver the best segment in all of sports. It's an honor, it's a privilege, and thank you to Tatiana for doing the prompter. It's time for next year.
Tatiana's been able to do this whole time, and instead you use this thing from a 1982 Matthew Broderick movie? Like what?
I feel like we're playing Atari.
That's right. I'm comfortable with that.
Coach, you weren't here earlier. Little controversy with the committee last night because one member of the committee, I wasn't going to name him, but I will, Thurgood, was adamant. I don't know why you guys laugh.
The names of your committee.
They're all named after esteemed, legends of our history. Thurgood named after Thurgood. Yeah, Thurgood.
And Marshall.
Yeah, I know, oddly. Yeah.
They related, just a coincidence.
It is a coincidence.
Thurgood.
Marshall is the youngest one. He's actually named after
Abraham?
Marshall Mathers.
Yeah, there's no Abraham. Martin is named after Martin Luther King. All right, as I was saying, Thurgood thought we should do the old hackneyed. The top is the turkey. The bottom is,
That's fun.
What do people not like? The green bean casserole. But the problem with that is, it's not intuitive. Because sometimes people come out with this take, what's overrated? Turkey. Nobody eats turkey during the week. And then all of a sudden it's like, you're going the Rams. So we're going with the regular tier names.
I would have liked it, though.
I know you would have liked it, but it feels like it's low-hanging fruit.
Maybe I'll just put my own in.
Oh, okay. First, though, eliminations with one fresh elimination.
Oh, the kids' table.
Keep it up, Wild.
There's a lot here. It's going to really derail us. The Vikings are newly eliminated. Also, dirty pool by some either Charger bloggers that are aggregating my take from March about, hey, is there a potential J.J. McCarthy, Justin Herbert trade available? Cropping out the date and pretending I did it this week. That's wrong, guys. Maybe it was a bad take in March, but it'd be a horrible take this week. Bottom of the tiers. Regressing to the mean. The Steelers and the Panthers. Both nice hot starts, neither of whom, certainly the Panthers, but maybe the Steelers as well, had realistic aspirations to be a legitimate contender, but they had the records of one, as of a few weeks ago. Panthers coming back to the pack, the Steelers dropping like a rock. Cheetahs, a.k.a. scary, not dangerous. Bengals and Cowboys. Cheetahs never killed a person.
Is that true?
That's true. But they're scary. They're not dangerous, though.
Fascinating.
Exactly
never
right.
Killed a person?
Yeah. Correct. You'd have thought it.
I see a cheetah.
And so they seem like they should be dangerous, but they're not. They're just scary.
Yeah.
That's the Bengals with Burrow back and the Cowboys with Lamb and Pickens. They're scary. You don't want to play them. And listen, it's not like I think either one of these teams is going to go winless the rest of the way. And either of them on any given week can beat a team. The Cowboys could beat the Chiefs this weekend. The Bengals could beat the Ravens this weekend. But they're not dangerous teams because they are not able to string together long enough stretches of quality football on both sides of the ball. Wow. Quite the quarterback trio here. Herbert, Bake Show, and the Prince. All three of their teams right now appear to be in similar caliber for very different reasons. The Chargers are 7-4, but seems like everyone expects, well, they're not going to keep that up, which is weird because Herbert's healthy and they have Harbaugh, but everybody understands that Justin Herbert, who's one of the most talented quarterbacks the league's ever seen, evidently can't play without Joe Alt. And the Buccaneers, after playing with fire with those close comebacks that you were talking about, Brew, the injuries seem to finally caught up to them. Schedule got a little tougher. They've lost 3 straight. No, Brew, they're still.
Admit it.
What? They're a cute team?
Yes.
They're a banged
right
up
on the
team.
money with that.
And the Jags are 7-4, have a couple games left, I believe, 2 games left against the Titans, are like 80% to make the playoffs. Nobody takes them seriously. Nobody. Even though they beat the Chiefs, that nobody takes them seriously. But the pedigree, the Ravens, they're not that good. We have played 11 games this year. You can't point to one where you're like, I thought they played awesome on offense and defense.
Yeah.
Not one. Now, the pedigree says Lamar's an all-time great quarterback. The Ravens uniform with the big scary Edgar Allan Poe signage they're gonna be great. The argument for them right now really is the pedigree, more so than what we've seen on the field. Surging versus slumping. I'd be worried if I'm the Colts.
Yes.
You have 2 left against the Texans, 2 left against the Jags, a Seahawks game and a Niners game. You could be on a 3-game losing streak already. It took overtime in Berlin against the Falcons and some very questionable game management by Raheem Morris to escape that game. You blew the game against Kansas City. The Texans, on the other hand, are just mauling people. They went on a 3-game winning streak without their starting quarterback. And the Texans got to feel every week like, get us to 17. Mm-hmm. If you get us to 17, we can win. Maybe the deficit's too much, but the Texans get the Colts twice, including this weekend. Be honest. Who do you trust? So this is the question I'm asking. If I were to tell you the Packers or the Bears are trailing by 3 with 2 minutes left in a game, which of those teams do you trust based on what they've done in clutch spots, close games this season? If I were to tell you one of these quarterbacks was playing a team they were a big favorite against and had a 3-interception disaster, What's your guess? Right now, this moment, Caleb or Jordan Love? I know it's not what we thought going into the year, but as we head into Week 13, is the more trustworthy team the Chicago Bears? So, to me, certainly on offense. The defense has some issues, and the Packers defense, of course, who do they have, Coach? Who do they? Micah Parsons. And by the way, you haven't dropped any Micah sack stats on us now that he's back in the top 5. Next.
I would have trusted a team that was leading by 3.
Underachieving, overachieving. I think these two teams are about similar in overall quality, which for the Lions is a massive underachievement and for the Niners is a massive overachievement. Given their injuries, given what the expectations were going into this year, the Lions we've been banging on the door, this is the year we break through. The Niners went into the year, Kyle Shanahan's like, pump the brakes, everybody. Like, this could be a retool year. Then he lost half his team to injury again. And the Niners are so injured, otherwise smart people are like, I think we need to look into this power plant that's by our practice facility, and if it's messing with our guys. That's how injured they are year over year. Yet, they're 8-4, and if they were to this weekend be playing the Lions, I'd say that's a coin flip game. Only trust the quarterback, only don't trust the quarterback. Why can the Bills win? Josh Allen. Why are the Broncos not the best team in football? Bo Nix. Like, the Bills don't have a lot of right now. James Cook's excellent, obviously. It's a little overstatement. Super redeeming qualities, except for they've got a guy at quarterback, even if he's not having his best season, that you feel like can throw the Superman cape on. The Broncos check every box of a legitimate Super Bowl contender, except people are like, Bo Nix, really? And so, but I think right now, if they played in a playoff game, you'd feel like you have to pick the Broncos. They're better at everything. And then you'd be like, I'm picking Bo Nix over Josh Allen? Feels weird. KW, what is this not?
Well, it's not the standings, which means the number 1 Patriots are probably on here. But with the standings, we'd be there.
It's not the standings. So who do you think the number 1 Patriots are next to? It's not the standings.
I don't hate this.
This is a compliment.
To you.
To you. To the Patriots. Everybody knows I'm a Drake May guy. I'm beloved in New England. Everybody knows that. However, I do think that the 10-2 Patriots and the 6-5 Chiefs at this very moment are actually similar caliber teams. And for different reasons and with different strengths and weaknesses, but on a neutral field right now, this moment, I think that game's very, very close. And so I know the records are very different. One team is better than 50% to make get the 1 seed, and the other team's barely better than 50% to make the playoffs. But this also could be a first-round playoff matchup, 2-7, if you guys don't get the 1 seed. That's what it is. Coach liked this last week, so I brought it back. Last week, the Eagles were Chekhov's gun. This week, Chekhov's gun fired.
Oh.
We saw it last week. All the simmering issues about the offense popped up over those last 3 quarters in Dallas. And Marshall really got in his bag with these last 3. See if you guys can get the trend. So Chekhov's gun fired into check his heart rate, his being Sam Darnold. Listen, man, the Seahawks are awesome. They lost week 1, but we've decided on this show week 1 games don't count. Brew, we've decided week 1 games don't count. They barely lost to the Rams, who everybody thinks is the best team in football, despite throwing 4 picks. And the other game was a 3-point loss to Bake Show. They are good at everything. But you just worry in a big game, is Sam Darnold, you're going to walk over to Sam Darnold and be like, do you need to be checked out, buddy? Are you okay? Chekhov's gun fired. Check his heart rate to checking all the boxes. I don't know what there's not to like about the Rams. They have a great coach. They have a great quarterback. They have a great defense. They have great skill position players. They are healthy. They can beat you a bunch of different ways. That coach is the Week 13 Thanksgiving tears.
One thing I really love about the tears is I always learn something.
Yeah.
And the cheetahs being not dangerous.
Scary, not dangerous.
The Chekhov's gun reference last week was fantastic, and bringing it back this week, I think that's fantastic.
Thanks.
I'd like to sit in on one of those meetings.
Well,
I think I could actually help line it up correctly.
Well, you can't sit in, but maybe next year you could be on the committee. You take applications.
Nice. But I do love the labels that you have for each one.
Yes, the labels are
fantastic. My issue is where you have the Colts, and I know that you're listing them as slumping, but they did just lose to the greatest 6-5 team in the history of the NFL.
That is true.
And it went down to overtime, and they did stop them first and goal from the 2-yard line, where Patrick Mahomes wasn't able to get his offense in so that they could win the game
He only went
in
96
regulation.
yards on that drive.
And I do think he did, and kicked a field goal, which is nice. and I think that 2 weeks before the Pittsburgh game, that was an aberration. And what happens is there's a learning curve with losing, and there's a learning curve with winning. And I don't think Indianapolis was expecting to be where they were. And that comes with some mistakes. And they put too much on Daniel Jones' plate. And he threw the ball 50 times against Pittsburgh, and we saw what happened there. And then you come back to this week, and they moved away from Jonathan Taylor. That was a mistake as well. But there is a learning curve that goes into it. But overall, they're still a very good team, and they could easily bump up, whether you want to do with Chicago, Green Bay, Detroit, San Francisco. Yeah. They've all got their issues. Philadelphia blew a 21-point lead. So there's all those elements. And just let's take a look at where Indianapolis is statistically. First, second, fourth, and seventh offensively. So they're top 5 in every category offensively. They've got the second biggest point differential to the Rams. And then defensively, the real issue has been opponent pass yards per game. But they trade for Sauce Gardner. He's still getting used to the defense. That should pay some dividends moving forward as he gets more established there.
How long does that take, Coach?
Well,
I thought Sauce was really good against the Chiefs. I know that, so I thought he was already good in that game.
Yes, but I think the defense coordinator understands what he can do really well, as he understands what the defense, the way the defense is structured, you can do more things with him. So whether it's taking out the top receiver, wherever you want to play him, but that does take a little bit of time for that player to probably perform as good as he can be. So I think you're too low with the Colts, and I know you don't like Daniel Jones, so that's why you're killing him, and that's why I think
I have no reason to like or dislike Daniel Jones. I just watch football every weekend, and I'm like, I don't think he's that good. I'm sure he's a nice enough guy. I also know that one of my litmus test brew for quarterbacks that I think people pretend to believe in but don't actually believe in is, if they lose a game, do people get angry that they let the quarterback decide the game? And with the Colts, everyone's mad. Why don't you trust Daniel Jones? While simultaneously being mad. You know why they lost that game? They had Daniel Jones drop back instead of handing off to Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, you've got Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah. I like him. I think he's really good.
That's the difference.
Well, okay,
you got a guy who's in
fairness,
the MVP.
Yeah, people do say that somewhat about Josh Allen.
No, people say it about Lamar in the playoffs. I don't think they say it about Josh.
When they a few years ago really took off, it was because they stopped throwing as much.
Yep.
Right? They reeled him in.
Yeah, and now they're letting him go again, and the turnovers are.
I guess I just haven't heard many times where the Bills lose, and people are like, they gave the ball to Josh.
I'll give you that.
But that's,
and I'm angry because they allowed him to throw 50 times.
Yeah.
That to me is problematic.
I'm a little disappointed in the names are always on point of the levels, but Wild's outside of the Chiefs, of course.
Yeah.
It's looking a lot like standings, Coach.
You think?
Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, how are the Ravens? The Ravens are way too low.
What?
Because, I mean, we have this thing we do across all sports, all levels. When we want to know, Coach, who's better? We line them up on the same field and they go at it, and whoever wins is better.
Yeah, that's why the Texans are ahead of the Ravens. They beat them by 30.
Yeah, without Lamar Jackson. But Lamar Jackson's back now. And even without Lamar Jackson, Coach, the Ravens played a team that's 2 levels.
What the heck?
2 levels ahead of them.
That's weird.
The Chicago Bears, and smashed them by 2 touchdowns. Smashed them with Tyler Huntley. So the only rationale I can even consider for them being ahead of the Ravens is the standings. They have a better record. So I think the Ravens actually should be up there with Denver and Buffalo, and here's why.
How could they be with Buffalo?
Here's
Did they
why.
play Buffalo?
Yeah, and they knocked them all over the field.
They played Buffalo?
Yeah, by a point though. 1 point.
Week 1 doesn't.
1 point. I could have went there. I won't. The Ravens defense, the last 6 weeks, has allowed Coach 14 points a game. That would be best in the league over the course of the season. And here's the thing. The Rams, with everybody's All-American, who have no flaws, checked all the boxes, they held them to 17. The Bears, another top 10 defense, held them to 16.
Top 10 offense.
Top 10 offense, I'm sorry. Held them to 16. So that defense is playing legitimately great football. And then the offense, even with Lamar struggling, I said it earlier. Coach, last 4 games, Lamar's looked bad for him. They're averaging 25 points a game, which would be top 10 in the league. They still are a top 10 offense. All right. And I think Lamar has earned the benefit of the doubt, like Mahomes. He's not Mahomes, but like Mahomes, to where we give him the benefit of the doubt that, you know what, he's going to come out of this slump. He's going to start playing better. But he's out there on the field. He's going to start playing better than he has been.
Coming up next.
You're not doing one?
No, we ran out of time. We're jamming in all of our segments.
Wow.
I think the Broncos are too low. Are the Chiefs on upset alert? We discuss next.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso. Gift magical mornings with Nespresso Virtuo Pop. Compact and stylish, Virtuo Pop is made to meet every morning coffee craving. From espresso to coffee, hot or iced, at the click of a button. And celebrate the season with Nespresso's limited edition coffee flavors. Sweet almond and hibiscus, cinnamon and candied tamarind, and festive double espresso. Magic in the making. Shop the holiday gift collection exclusively at Nespresso.com.
Going through Thanksgiving, you have your meals with your family, and then you go and sit on the couch, and typically there's not a lot on, except football. Back in the day, it was Lions and somebody. You go watch Matthew Stafford throw for 300, 400 some yards with Calvin Johnson and probably lose the game, but it was fun to watch.
This Thanksgiving, Packers versus the Lions. Dan Campbell trying to win the Thanksgiving game. Coverage begins at 11 o'clock only on Fox. Welcome back to First Things First, Chiefs in Dallas. You know, after their bye, they lost to Denver, 1-score game. Then on Sunday, beat the number 1 offense in a 1-score game. KC is 6-5, some ups and some downs. What version of the Chiefs do you expect to see tomorrow, Nick?
I think you're going to see the offense that we saw for a month plus post the original tackle that turned the tide. And I think that for 2 reasons. One is the Mahomes this year has struggled against man-to-man for some reason. I don't know why, but he has. He's been the number 1 rated quarterback against zone defense. Matt Eberflus and the Cowboys play a ton of zone. So that's the first reason. The second reason is just more holistically, the Broncos are a great defense, right? And they gave Patrick a lot of trouble. We saw the Eagles are a great defense. They gave Patrick some trouble. The big play in that game was the Kelsey tipped interception, but still. Mediocre or bad defenses, pass defenses, which I think the Cowboys still have despite the addition of Quentin Williams, the Chiefs have carved up. I also think they're going to have to score a bunch of points because the flip side to it is the Chiefs do not have a real pass rush without sending extra people. Dak is a smart enough and good enough quarterback to where sending extra guys can really be risky against him. So I think Pickens and Lamb are going to have big games. I think Dak's going to have a big game. But I think there's going to be a high-scoring shootout-ish game. And so that's the version of the Chiefs I expect to see, Coach.
I have no idea what version of the Chiefs we're going to get. I don't know if we're going to get the team that's won 6 games and is going to the Super Bowl, or the team that's lost 5 games and is going to get eliminated from the playoffs. And that's how they've been throughout the course of the year. And when you look at Dallas, it's been 50 years since they've won there.
Okay, they play in Dallas every 8 years.
50 years is a long time.
But
50 years.
It's 5 losses in a row. I mean, the last time they played there, it wasn't in the wasn't.
Point differential for Dallas over the last 3 seasons on Thanksgiving has been almost 17 points. That's pretty significant. Dak Prescott's been part of that process, so there's that. I think the more telling stat is the Chiefs have had as many turnovers in the last 4 games, with 6, as they had in the previous 18 regular season games. And that's a dramatic stat for them. And you saw it last week, right? So we had the pick early in the game that sets up the touchdown. And those things are so uncharacteristic of this team historically. But over this past month or so, it's been something that's been very, very consistent and troubling. And I don't think Dallas is great necessarily at creating turnovers, but they're better than they have been, prior to the trade deadline.
I don't expect a shootout.
Really?
I expect Kansas City to win 27-24. And here's why I don't expect
that's almost a shootout. But go ahead.
But the Chiefs' defense steps up big, just like they did against Indianapolis. So Baltimore, when they were averaging 39 points a game or 38 points a game, the Chiefs held them to 20. When Detroit was averaging 35 points a game, the Chiefs held them to 17. And Indianapolis leads the league, was averaging 33 points a game. The Chiefs held them to 20. That defense steps up when it needs to. So I don't think Dallas is going to just be throwing the ball all over the field and scoring all these points. I think they'll have success. I think they'll be, it'll be a good back and forth game. But I don't think Dallas is going to run roughshod over that defense. And I think Mahomes will make the big plays necessary. I expect a good game from him, not like a historic Mahomes game, but I expect a very good game from him, and they win by 3.
Would you rather have him or Dak on Thursday?
What's your updated Mahomes take, K-Dub?
Coach,
that
I got attacked.
Great.
You didn't get attacked.
He said Mahomes was very good.
Yeah. He also said he's not in Brady's class, which Coach disagrees with, but go ahead.
Historically, he's not this year. Currently he's not in Brady's class.
No,
the
not
way he's
this
playing
year.
right now.
This is how I'm manicuring my take. At his best, Mahomes is the best. At 80% of his best, Mahomes is still the best.
The best what?
The best quarterback in the league, and I would always take him. The Mahomes that we have seen recently, with Dak at his best, I think Dak will outperform Patrick Mahomes. And what you said about the defenses giving Patrick Mahomes trouble, the Broncos gave him trouble, the Jags defense actually pretty good, even though we don't talk about them a lot.
The Jags defense really bad.
Passing defense for the Jags?
I thought the Jags overall, they were supposed to be good. They haven't been good.
Oh, I thought the Jags passing defense is good.
Ahead.
Sorry, that's even bad for Mahomes.
Right.
That's supposed to be Tom Brady out here. But Dak has really thrived against top 10 defenses. We can take a look at this. Against top 10 defenses, they are first in points with 27. Wow. Total yards, almost 390. Passing yards, 270. So, Brew, now that I've shown you this, I do think it's going to be a shootout. So I do think Mahomes is going to put up some numbers, but I think Dak is just playing it out of his mind. I think George Pickens is going crazy.
I guess here's, I think, the distinction. I know we have to move on. You are, I don't think, I know Brew called this a playoff game, and that bothered you because it's not literally a playoff game. But we are the show that created Must Win that we do in week 1. Yes. So we do take some, creative licensing.
So you weren't.
I don't. What he's saying. You are right. You were right. The Broncos game was a huge game, and they blew it. They had a fourth quarter lead, and they blew it. And the Broncos, created a lot of pressure on Patrick, and Patrick didn't play well. But for the Cowboys, this is, to me, must win as far as their season's over. Their playoff hopes are dead if they don't run the table. And for the Chiefs, and I think they know this, they have 6 games left, including games against Houston, that's good all of a sudden, the Chargers, the Broncos. After this, they can afford to lose one of them. So you are not giving any, credit's the wrong word, but affording any part of your analysis to be
pressure.
Yeah, like this is for Kansas City. That this is, you are going to see a ultra dialed in Mahomes. And I'm not saying you're wrong for doing that. It just seems like I just feel like if it is the 7-seeded Chiefs against anyone in the first round of the playoffs, other than your Patriots, you're picking them. because you're like, and so
they get it.
I think some of that applies.
I don't feel like, and I know that like we joke that you say the Cowboys are always S-Bob. I don't feel like the Cowboys are viewed this year like the Bills view this year or the Ravens. They're kind of like, hey, look, let's make a little run here, guys.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
let's see what happens. First year coach. They were now they're on
because they started so badly.
I think so. I feel like they're just playing loose, but I feel like maybe the Chiefs are playing a little tighter. Okay. But Mahomes always. Oh my goodness! It's time for the hottest segment in all the sports. It's upset alert. First, let's take a look at the standings. How did we score? Oh, I'm narrowing the gap here.
I mean, you just
I'm gonna give you props.
Listen, Greg did you guys no favors.
And I'm not.
Picking the Colts. Brew, very, very unlucky to go against what he actually believed in.
That was
points.
Unwise.
And KW, you didn't deserve that cover. I'm just letting you know right
Lost
now.
by 6.
I understand, but
I deserve 7.5 points.
Oh, you want to change you want to change it?
Lose
entirely.
by 6 and it's a 13.
Coach, go ahead. We're short on time. Go.
Right.
Yeah, well, I'm going to blow you guys out of the water this week because it's going to be the Carolina Panthers upsetting the LA Rams.
Ooh, okay. I don't hate it.
Here's why. So the Rams cruised to victory Sunday night. They beat up a team that was supposed to be really competitive. Then they all go home and they watch the game Monday night and they watch Carolina like, oh my God, these guys can't play dead, right? They had all those turnovers. They couldn't do anything with it. So now we fast forward. They're flying across the country. They're going to play Carolina. It's a virtual bye week. They've won 6 in a row. The game starts at 10 o'clock a.m. if you're a West Coast team. So by the time they wake up and realize, oh, these guys came to play, it's going to be late in the fourth quarter. And know what they're not going to do? They're not going to have Rico Dowdle only carry the ball, 6 times last game? He tweeted out he wasn't happy about that.
Yeah.
Little confused face. I'm confused too because his record, when he carries 10 or more, they're 6-1. When he carries 10 or less, they're 0-5. So give him the ball a bunch of times. Let's see whether or not let's see whether or not the Rams actually wake up, or whether they. And this is what always happens. I've been part of these games where I would have bet my house that we were going to beat some team because they were so banged up and they were playing so poorly, and then suddenly we end up going, how did they beat us? How did we lose that game?
Can I?
I think that's a good one.
Can I just ask you a very quick question? Because you know how much personal affection I have for you and how much respect I have for you.
Always seems like something's coming.
Right. Yeah. But
in all your years watching, coaching, covering football, has there ever been a team that you were like, you know what they need to do? Run the ball less? Or has there ever been a team where you're like, you know what, they run the ball too much and that's the problem?
I was actually watching a whole study on running versus passing the ball last night, and the probability of winning or losing versus winning. And running the ball is actually shown to give a higher.
Okay. All right, good. All right.
I'll forward you the video.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Wilds, I'm sorry, but the Giants are taking down your boys this
Well, I was just going to say
I kind of like this one too.
Thank you, Coach.
Say hi.
Go ahead, let's hear it.
One, again, I'm big on due dates.
Yep.
And they've won 9 straight as a young team. There's, even as level-headed as they may be for youngsters, as much as Vrabel's warning against it, they probably are starting to feel themselves a little bit. And I know last week they didn't look great, and that's part of it as well. They could have lost last week, all right, to the Bengals, all right? So they are on, and I think the Giants coach is going to get a boost from the new defensive coordinator because they do have talent on that side of the ball, haven't been playing well, so I think that gives them a boost.
I mean, I guess.
And whoever's the quarterback, whether it's Jameis or I don't know if Dart might be back, whichever one is going to give them an emotional boost because Jameis just does that. And Dart is kind of like that type of personality as well with the charisma. So I think they're going to come out. They're not going to be like, we're done, end of the season. We got, we're not playing for anything. I think they're going to come out inspired and take you guys down.
They should blitz them coming off the bus too. light them up. They got nothing to lose.
Got 2 offensive linemen injured, so that is a concern. they are not feeling themselves at all. Like the locker room was almost, you would think that they lost against the Bengals, who are sneaky good. A quick episode of Pucks Tonight of football, and I've been hot covering.
We know who you're taking. You're taking the Cowboys. We can just.
I do think the Cowboys are going to win, but I am taking one of my newfound teams. Houston, you're a problem. Trademark. In a good way. Bad news for the Colts. I got Texans straight up beating the Colts. I think they're just super hot. We just saw the Colts have an issue with the Chiefs defense. Well, the Texans defense is better in every category. Now, they're also fifth best against the run, so they're going to take Jonathan Taylor out of the game and put the ball into Daniel Jones' hands, make him try to solve the problems. Let's see how the quarterbacks have done in the last 3 games. Well, Trevor didn't do well. Cam Ward actually did okay, and Josh Allen got sacked. I think it was a career-high time. And then finally, the Colts, a little bit of a swoon, and Coach mentioned it in tears. 7-1, but in November, 1-2. You mentioned that?
Coach was advocating for them.
Gotcha. Oh, sorry, the opposite.
Yeah,
I actually totally disagree.
I can't believe you're not going with the Cowboys. All day long, you're talking about the Cowboys. But it's 0 points. But your confidence is clearly more on the Cowboys.
I think the Cowboys
but we have to go to Nick's
win.
picks.
Time now for
we don't
Nick's
have time.
picks.
So
we don't have
listen.
time for Nick's picks?
No, we just don't have. We got to move because you guys. When I go 1-2, we got plenty of time. When I go undefeated and I got robbed of a 3-0 weekend, that's fine. The push, it is what it is. And the locks, which I don't agree with, but Wilds made us add. They went 1-0. Undefeated. 2-0-1, 3-0 weekend, and I'm back at 500 right at Thanksgiving, just as we hoped for a stretch run. First game. Put my money where my mouth is this week. Chiefs -3.5. The Chiefs can win the Super Bowl. Maybe they are not going to. Maybe they're having a down year. Everyone agrees they can win the Super Bowl. The Cowboys cannot. The Cowboys have not won 3 consecutive games in years. Years.
Is that true?
2 years.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been 2 years. They haven't done it this year. They didn't do it last year.
2020.
That's years. The Chiefs are going to win by at least 4. Yeah, whatever. It's been years. It's been multiple years. It's very simple. Next, just show me the next one, Dust, because we got to go fast here. It's going to be close.
Yeah, probably.
I just think it's going to be close. This feels like a 3 or 4 point game. I'm not sitting here saying the Bears are going to win. I'm sitting here saying the Bears are going to keep it close because the Eagles can get up 21-0 and let teams keep it close.
That's true.
And so I'll take the Bears. I'm getting 7 points against a team that right now doesn't have an offensive identity. And last but not least, my favorite one.
This is the lock?
I don't do locks, but this is my favorite. So if you want to call it that, listen. The Vikings quarterback situation has been a disaster all year. Wow. They're now on their 3rd guy. So JJ's been awful. Carson Wentz was not very good. The guy who is clearly behind all of them on the depth chart, Max Brosmer, who started his college career, I believe, at New Hampshire, and then played for a year at Minnesota. He's going to be starting against Mike McDonald on the road in the 2nd loudest stadium in the NFL. How many points do they need to cover the 11.5? Maybe just 12. I'll take Seattle laying the 11.5, and I don't do locks, but if I was going to do one, that one's my favorite. There it is.
Really?
Chiefs
11.5?
11.5.
Sam Darnold revenge game.
Oh.
Coach, I didn't even think about that. Great take.
That's a good one.
Who's feasting? Oh, yes.
On the turducken.
I know.
You didn't want to say it?
No, I forgot about it.
What turducken is?
The Who's Down in Who Newville were making their list, but some didn't know Walmart has the best brands for their gifts.
What about toys? Do they have brands kids have been wanting all year?
Yep, Barbie, Tony's, and Lego. Gifts that will make them all cheer.
Do you mean they have all the brands I adore?
They have Nintendo, Nespresso, Apple, and more.
What about...
So the Who answered questions from friends till they were blue. Each one listened and shouted, from Walmart? Who knew? Shop gifts from top brands for everyone on your list in the Walmart app.
The greatest rivalry in sports is here. Top-ranked, defending national champion Ohio State, looking to snap Michigan's win streak in the game. All starts at 9 a.m., 3-hour Big Noon kickoff live from Ann Arbor. Then it's Michigan, Ohio State at noon, only on Fox.
I think Michigan does it again.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. You're now entering the No Bull Zone, sponsored by Credible. Great rates, none of the bull. Packers-Lions on Fox. Our team will be live from Detroit starting at 11. Game is at 1. Packers looking to eat up the Lions once again. First matchup was a 27-13 mashing, although we do not count week 1 on the program.
I do.
Brew, who needs this game more, the Packers or the Lions?
Both of them need it.
That's why it was a double must-win, according to you.
Yeah. I mean,
disqualified you though.
Yeah, both of them need this win incredibly. But if I have to pick one, I'm gonna go Detroit. It's in Detroit. Green Bay has the better record, so I mean, technically they're ahead of them in the playoff race. The tie, may make it where the tiebreaker's not head-to-head, but they did beat Detroit earlier. I think Green Bay's feeling better about itself just because it's coming off 2 wins, including a solid one over Minnesota. Mm-hmm. And obviously the Lions are coming off not a great performance against the Giants, and then they lost and only scored 9 points against Philadelphia. So, and I think the Lions are reeling a bit and trying to figure out, I think they're surprised that that they've fallen off a little bit. Now, right. Jahmyr Gibbs is saving them and playing great, but outside of him, I just think they're not close to what they used to be. So I think they need this to kind of get their swagger back.
Yeah, I think Green Bay's come back down to earth from the early days of we're going to go undefeated, and then they had the major upsets. And so there's much more of a reality setting in about how consistent they have to be. The thing that I struggle with in Detroit is they make the decision that they make with the offensive coordinator. The head coach takes over play calling duties. It looks good early, then take a step back. There seems to be more, I don't know if it's dysfunction, but it's definitely not a well-oiled machine right now offensively or anything near what we've been used to. So I think Detroit needs it from the perspective, they need it, and they need to be really efficient offensively and have consistency there if they're going to make some kind of run.
I think it's the Packers without question. Because I think Detroit, maybe they shouldn't, but I think Detroit is very comfortable with who they are. I think Detroit, even though they have not been as good this year as they were last year, in my opinion, even the year before, because of Dan Campbell and because all of the main characters are the same, I think that they feel like, listen, we've had a couple bad games, bad moments. We're going to be fine. I could see this getting away from the Packers if the Packers lose this game. And I actually think this is where beating Detroit in week 1 could work against them, which is, man, we start the year, we played this team, we blow them out, that we're going to have a great defense. Jordan Love played well in that game. And it's and since then, not only do we not have a moment to really hang our hat on, but now we played them again and we lost. So I still look at the Lions as not top tier, but legitimate Super Bowl contender. And I right now don't look at the Packers that way. And so maybe that's you're right, the records are essentially the same, but Green Bay, because of the ties ahead of them, I just have a little more faith in the Lions' infrastructure. And so I think the Packers, this would be a great win and a needed win. And I also think the loser of this game
is in some trouble.
Right. Can miss the playoffs.
They both
easily.
have tough schedules.
Correct.
If Lions lose, 41% chance they miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
Live from New York, still wishing you a very happy Thanksgiving. It's First Things First overtime. Today, the coolest segment about stats in all of sports, featuring some stats about the Chiefs' offense. Is that true? Coming up?
Well, you'll see.
Okay, it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. Meanwhile, can Joe Burrow outplay Lamar in his return? We'll find out in a second. But right now, Bears headed to Philadelphia 7-point underdogs, even though both teams are 8-3, Danny. Here's Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio. Take a listen.
They're under center a good bit, probably more than most teams in this league. And kudos to him and his staff for bringing that young quarterback along, who I don't think ever played under center in college. And he's doing a great job, and they have fought through any of the pitfalls of that. And now they got a quarterback that is executing their offense the way they want to.
Of course, that's Fangio on Caleb. What would a win over the Eagles mean for Caleb?
It would be validating. It would be everything. I mean, because
I will concede all of the things that you guys have said about the Bears. That this is a step up in class. Like, that's all true. They haven't beaten a team with a winning record. Easiest strength of schedule. When they played good teams at times, that it looked lopsided. Like, that's all true. But, man, they've won 8 of 9. And so if we were going to rank vibes, Bears, top 5.
Oh, their vibes are great. That part is...
The vibes are excellent.
Even though good, better, best is one of the corniest post-game slogans there's ever been.
Top 5. Hard disagree.
You're writing down that you're doing Wild's going to do a vibes ranking while you...
I would love you to do a vibes ranking. Just consider greatest quarterback in the history of the franchise and arguably greatest coach in the history of the franchise presently employed by the Bears. Factor that into your vibes rankings. Eagles' vibes are not. And so... I think there is just a time when, like, I can't show you a number that's like, this is the reason the Bears are going to win, though there are plenty in their favor. Best rushing team since their bye week, top in explosive plays. There are plenty of things that point to the Bears being good. It's just, I actually think they're going to pull off this upset.
Really?
I think they're going to win. Just like when we talk about the Patriots, we're like, well, that Bills game mattered a lot for them in terms of everyone else believing in them because they beat an established team. Or for the Broncos, when they beat the Chiefs, it was like, well, okay, now we got to take the Broncos seriously. That's what this opportunity is for the Bears on Friday, and I think they're going to do it.
Well, I don't think they're going to do it, but I do agree with you that this would be huge. This would actually make me, and I already believe in Caleb to a degree, and I think his potential is bright, his future is bright, but this would make me far more of a believer in him and in the Bears because – like you said, they haven't really beaten anybody. They beat one team with a winning record, Pittsburgh, which is on the decline, and they had a backup quarterback. This would be the first great win of Caleb's career.
No doubt.
Now, last year they beat the Rams, but that was in week 4, and the Rams started 1-5. They were struggling at that point, getting beat.
I personally really did enjoy beating the Packers in week 18 last year, but that
was when Malik Willis at quarterback. J-Lo was out. So. And then this year, like I said, when they've stepped up in class, so to speak, they've gotten hammered. And so this would be a phenomenal win. And the fact that Philly is coming off a bad loss and at home. It's in Philadelphia. So Philadelphia is like, we got to right the ship and play well. So they're ready for this game. And if Chicago goes in there and wins, that would be huge. I can't overstate how big that would be for Caleb and for the Bears.
Well, listen, I want to ask you a question. Mm-hmm. Because Danny did his sleight of hand yesterday with here's the Patriots numbers. Oh, wait, no, it's really the Bears numbers. And it's not just strength of schedule, similarities here and that. Their resumes are similar in this regard. Both had week 1 losses to awful teams that look like, what the hell? Like the Patriots losing to the Raiders is the single most bizarre result of the season, I feel. And J.J. McCarthy playing like an all-pro for 15 minutes is the single most bizarre occurrence of the decade. So both of those. They both have, obviously year 2 quarterbacks, obviously new head coaches. If they win this game and they get to 9-3, you guys are sitting at 10-2. Do you think they will deserve the same type of respect?
Yeah, probably.
That we are, right, and I'm not even trying to...
the Pats aren't getting a ton.
Right, they are not...
So I think...
And so that's where I was going with it. Even though I think in your bones you feel like what the Patriots are doing is more sustainable than what the Bears are doing, and that may or may not be true.
And Drake May has been better than Caleb this year.
Oh, no question.
And so, having a quarterback that you 100% trust, whereas Caleb has been improving, but less consistent than Drake. I would even concede that.
No, I think Drake's definitely been better than Caleb, but I think the Bears' offense has been sneaky excellent. Now, maybe it's because of the run game and that Ben Johnson in Detroit built a lot of it off the run game. Explosives in the run game that then opens up stuff for downfield passing. Like the Bears in this football game, the reason I'm not going as far as you as saying I expect the Bears to win or I think they're going to win, but I did just pick the Bears +7 as one of my picks. And it's because I think they right now have the better offense. I think the Bears' offense is better than the Eagles' offense. And so you give me the better offense. Do I think the defensive, deficits are enough to make it to where the Eagles should blow them out? I don't. I also think that if they win this game, we get to see a much more interesting Bears team the final 6 weeks, Danny, because by winning this game, I don't want to say they have games to play with, but they will have a margin of error where they're like, okay, we expect to make the playoffs. They have games. They have two. They
have both Green Bay games. They have the Detroit game. They have San Francisco, and they have Cleveland.
No, I understand, but if you get to 9-3, I think it would be a tragedy if you missed the playoffs. If they beat the Eagles on Black Friday to get to 9-3, and then
they'd be a heavy favorite.
But I don't think they should be thinking that way.
No, but I guess
like
what
if they win,
the point I'm making is I think you can start. I believe in the NFL. There's different types of coaching that you do throughout the year, and one of the coaching styles is preparing for the playoffs. You know what I mean? Trying to work on things that we are going to need in the playoffs. I think that if the Bears win this game, they get to start doing that. Like, all right, we're going to be in the postseason. Mm-hmm. What type of team do we want to be for the postseason? You disagree, Brew?
Yeah, I don't think they could count their chickens at that point. 9 wins. I get it. They're not likely to lose out. But with the games they have, Green Bay twice, as you mentioned, Detroit, like in that division, and in San Francisco too, I just think that would be.
But this is the hardest game. They don't have any game on their schedule that should be harder than at Philadelphia.
Right, at Philly.
No, I think I think they should go at it like we're still playing to win, like Green Bay the next week. We can't say, okay, let's start working on stuff. Cleveland, okay, but still, that defense, like, look at that schedule. That is tough.
Well, no, and especially
I think they would make it if they probably would make it, but I'm just saying, you can't play around with those games.
Yeah, and the division would not be locked up because the Lions and the Packers are still really good. So I don't think that they would, backslide in any way. But again, changing how everyone talks about you and all of a sudden it not being like, oh, this is a cute little story, and it being validating for everything. It would be validating for Ben Johnson, for Caleb, for the offense, for the record. And then you get to sit there and oh, they wake up as the 2 seed.
So what if it goes the other way?
Well, that would not be great.
Well, don't get blown out.
I don't think they have.
But it's like a free roll? I think
it's close to a free roll.
I mean, well, I think image-wise it's close to a free roll. Nobody's going to kill them if they lose by 4 or whatever. But where it does start to hurt you is just the playoff race, because the schedule's still so tough. So that's where it'd be a problem.
Can I add something to this conversation that I don't want to be misquoted on this? I am not saying this is how I would have it. But Brew, you did Brew's ballot this week, and it was very interesting because it's like 2 quarterbacks and then a running back, a wide receiver, a defensive end for a 3-win team because what has become a quarterback-only award, it's hard to find 5 worthy quarterbacks. I do not think Caleb, and I know Danny doesn't, I assume you don't either, has played anything close to what I consider an MVP level. But there are a lot of folks that love the quarterback wins and the touchdown-interception ratio. And if in a standalone game, coming off a game that if you didn't watch Caleb last week against Steelers and just looked at the stat line, stat line's unbelievable.
Right.
Watching the game, it was good, but there was the awful moment and whatever it is. I truly believe that if they win this game, a sports TV topic is, hey, is Caleb Williams in the MVP conversation? If the Bears are 9-3, and but honestly, do you see?
Well, Wild's conversations are huge.
No,
but I think it would be a conversation about being in the conversation would be warranted.
Which is where I don't even know where we've had those guys for. But if
you just had to list 4
5 quarterbacks, if it was all quarterbacks,
he's not a top 5 QB.
No, he'd be on the bubble. I'd be like, who's on the bubble of this list?
Yeah, I mean, it's
and who does? You know what it'd be? Who deserves to be on the bubble? Who deserves to be on the bubble? Caleb Williams.
He'd be on the fourth quarter comeback.
Right. That's the thing is the fourth quarter a lot of the soft data that can help somebody get MVP votes, if not first place. The clutch stuff, not turning the ball over, the comebacks.
He's got rushing yards.
He wouldn't be in the conversation to actually win it, but to get on the ballot as
it's
top
Stafford
5.
and Drake at this point to win it. But if somebody's going to have right now a 5 quarterback ballot, which a lot of the voters will. A lot of the voters are only going to vote for quarterbacks. If they win this game, Like, I think his name pops up on it, which would be crazy.
You have great news if you like cool stuff. How good is Dak Prescott and George Pickens' connection? Well, you're about to find out in the coolest segment about statistics in all of sports. It's time for Packed Stats. This is cool.
Thanks, Wilds. I think stats are cool too.
Well, I brought I say the two
in this cool briefcase. Stat number 1. You mentioned it. Dak Prescott and George Pickens. The number is 134.4. As in the passer rating when Dak targets George Pickens. Why is that noteworthy? That's the second best quarterback to receiver passer rating through 11 games since Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. And Nick,
your bar is too much. That's too much.
What do you mean?
Objectively, it's correct.
There's a question mark at the end of it. Is it the new Mahomes to Tyreek?
No.
People are asking. Do numbers lie?
Yes.
Okay.
All the time.
I guess I kind of walked into that
one.
I'm just saying, this trade and this pairing going this well, this soon, when there is legitimate questions like, why is CeeDee Lamb dropping the ball so much? Is Dak targeting? Does he trust Pickens more than CeeDee? What's the ceiling for this? They have to, franchise tag not good enough. You have to sign him. Like, this duo has been everything Dallas thought it could be and more, and it's honestly been historically great.
Can I throw in a little addition on there?
Minimum of 90 targets, by the way. Like, you got get real sample size.
We ripped, to no end, the Micah trade. And I know it was probably more impactful than this trade, but they deserve credit for this trade.
They do.
And the Steelers are getting, I don't know, I'm not in Pittsburgh local radio.
They're getting a pass.
It seems our offense could use George Pickens.
I think the reason they're getting the pass is a great trade for the Cowboys. And you guys know I've really liked Pickens a lot and talked about his talent. I think most people feel like, and I agree, he wouldn't be doing this in Pittsburgh.
Oh,
obviously, Aaron Rodgers isn't as good as Dak,
necessary.
but he was a problem in Pittsburgh. Like his attitude issues and all that stuff. He's been none of that in Dallas.
This has been awesome. I reject, not you've said this, the folks asking, is he better than CeeDee Lamb? He is not a better football player than CeeDee Lamb. He might be having a better year.
He's definitely having a better year.
And part of that CeeDee's injury, and part of that also, I think, is teams still treat CeeDee like the number one receiver, so he gets the more advantageous matchups. However, this is the maybe controversial part, I'm not ready to say this was a great trade by Dallas.
Really?
Because what might happen in
it's not just the what might happen. It's I don't know. They didn't trade for him and sign him. So I don't know where. And so they have to keep him. Now you can have a 1-year trade where a guy leaves that works out great if you're going for a Super Bowl. But if this team finishes 8-1, misses the playoffs, and CeeDee Lamb signs for $40 million a year somewhere else. Pickens signs somewhere else.
Remember, they're only going for interesting.
Well, yeah.
They're not not signing Pickens at this point, even on the Dallas scale of calamity, would be pretty high.
Well, Jared said yesterday, I think, that he will be back.
Well,
but what does that mean? Franchise tag?
He also said that about Micah.
Right. That's true.
And also, I'm telling you right now, the idea that George Pickens, who everyone's saying how great he is, Orlovsky's saying he might be the best receiver in football, is going to take the franchise tag and be like, happily, no problem. Right. I think that is
You do have to have the basic contract year questions.
Yes.
Is he going to do this?
That'll be a big topic for the offseason.
Yeah.
All right, another cool stat. Other side of this game.
Okay.
How are they going to slow down Dak to Pickens? The Chiefs' defense. We talk a lot about Mahomes. I'd actually expect the Chiefs' defense to be the reason why you guys win this game.
There you go.
Against top 10 scoring offenses this year, those offenses against the Chiefs are averaging 8 points per game fewer, and that's a who's who. Ravens, Lions, Bills, and of course what we saw last week, the Colts. Mahomes was great in the fourth quarter and overtime of that game. The Chiefs' offense came alive, but they won that game against Indianapolis because Steve Spagnuolo's defense once again rose to the challenge. So when we're talking about, Dak and the Cowboys' offense, maybe the key to the whole game is your defense.
Listen, I think that, and there has been a lot of shots taken locally, I felt, and certainly questions asked about Chris Jones' production this year. And again, maybe I'm giving him a pass that I shouldn't, but I also think that a D tackle past 30 who's played 7 straight 20-game seasons, if he is, trying to make sure he has it for the finish line, I'm fine with that personally. And his impact in that game Sunday, he won us the game.
Yeah, he jumped off the screen.
The Jonathan Taylor, the 3 and outs, those were Chris Jones related. I am far more concerned about this than Mahomes' ability to carve up the Cowboys all of a sudden good defense. Because the Chiefs you're right that they've done it. They have not been able to generate a pass rush this season aside from Chris. And Chris, again, it's just kind of as of late. And Dak with time is deadly. And so this is actually the part of the game that concerns me the most. Is the Cowboys' offensive line going to give Dak enough time that we can't cover those great receivers?
Go ahead, sorry, bro.
Well, I was going to say, I'm with you, Danny. Like, I do think the Chiefs' defense clearly steps up in most cases when the competition is fiercest. And I don't think the Cowboys are going to have a heyday against that defense. So I think I said 27-24 Chiefs. I think they'll be able to hold them in check because that defense just
24 is still pretty good. When the Ravens scored 24, you're like, hey, they're scoring 24.
yeah, but for the Cowboys, if they hold them to 24, you feel good, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You'd sign up for that, right?
I'd sign up for it right now.
And 27-24 is an under. Less than the total points expected.
What's total points?
52.5. So right there, right on the number.
All right.
Bruce is sharp.
I'm ready for the
Ready for the last one?
Yeah.
Cool. This one's going to be a little bit of a journey.
Oh, these are the best. Statistical journeys.
Maybe makes it the coolest.
Yeah.
I don't know. Quarterback pressure is going to be the thing that decides Lions-Packers. So Jared Goff, when he's not pressured, has the highest passer rating in the NFL with a clean pocket. When he's pressured, his quarterback rating drops to 65, which is absolutely, it's a massive drop. Let's try to put it into context with the quarterback he's facing. Jordan Love, when not pressured, has the 4th best passer rating in the NFL, and he drops to the 29th best passer under pressure. So both of them are top 4 when it's a clean pocket. They are both well below average when they are pressured. What about the company they keep in terms of the differential? 2 40-year-olds. These guys, it would make sense. Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers don't want to be hit, so they get rid of the ball really quickly. These are the 2 of the 3 biggest gaps from clean pocket to pressured pocket for Love and Goff. So the question is going to be, which one of these guys is under more pressure in this game? That's a crazy
I have to tell you something.
Here we go.
I like that.
This is a disaster for me, that graphic. Can you put that graphic back up? This is a disaster. Because when I thought this was just a Jared Goff thing, Danny, open your briefcase. I slid in there
messed with my
a tiny hand. But fair's fair. Rodgers, Flacco, and Love all have huge hands. Like Rodgers has like a historically huge hand. But Jordan Love too. So I can't blame. I was like, obviously, this is about old tiny hands when he gets pressured. But he's up against giant-handed fellas, so I don't. It really threw off what my projected analysis was going to be. So then does that to you, Brew, mean the 2 most important people in this game are Aiden Hutchinson and Micah Parsons?
I mean, according to that stat, yeah, for sure. Wow, that's interesting. Look, I like Green Bay. Obviously, I feel like this game could go either way.
Yeah, it's a close game.
When there are 2 good teams in a division, I tend to think you're not going to sweep.
Yep.
So that bodes well for the Lions. I'm hoping there's a sweep, obviously, with the Packers, but yeah, that's interesting.
Lions
you know what? That's beyond interesting. That's cool.
Wow.
That was cool.
Wow.
Victory!
Wow.
Lions are 5th in the NFL generating pressures. Packers are 14th. Lions have 3 more sacks this year than the Packers do.
Troy, can I put you on the spot? Which quarterback is great under pressure?
Drake May's number 1.
Drake May's been the best.
Did you know that?
Let's just call it. Let's just call it a segment.
Drake May's been unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
I didn't realize he was number one.
Yeah, we were checking. And again, obviously everyone drops.
That's the thing. I feel like 20, like Mahomes is not good.
No, everyone drops. But again, those numbers are relative to the under pressure stats. So someone has to be the best under pressure.
Drake May's been great.
Wow, turn this into a Drake segment. This is a cool segment. Coming up next.
Right back to it. Right back to the offense.
Who do you trust more?
I might stick around.
Patrick Mahomes or Dak?
A lot of debate.
They're both great quarterbacks.
No, but Mahomes wasn't great earlier. He's just very good.
Nice.
He's just very good.
Well, his pass rating.
Tomorrow, it's America's team against America's team. Which one am I talking about? Doesn't matter. Chiefs head to Dallas to face the Cowboys. Turducken is on the line. Delicious. Both teams with huge wins last weekend. Dak, though, not riding that wave. Here he is on last week's victory ahead of this week's matchup with the Chiefs.
It's vital. You've got to reset. Yeah, that was a great win, great tough win, emotional, as you said, coming back from down 21. But it was only to be celebrated that night, to be honest with you. And I think I said that in the presser. Like, especially on the short week, you've got to move forward. You got to make sure you're locked into the details. The last thing you can do is be living on what you did last week. You're as good as what you did today and how you prepared. And we've got to keep that in mind. And if we want to win, it's going to be on our preparation each and every day.
So, ton of attention, as always, on the quarterback matchup in a spot like this. Willie, who do you trust more, Mahomes or Dak?
I trust Dak, but I even trust his offensive line more because if you look at the tape, I mean, their operation is clean because of how well they're playing up front. You know, he's been sacked 16 times on 134 pressures, which is outstanding for an offensive line that had a lot of issues prior to this year. And when you see him operate, it's because he has time in the pocket. He's throwing on rhythm. He's getting the ball out on time. We now view George Pickens differently because of how their relationship is transforming. And I think right now, if he wins this game, we really have to put him in the MVP conversation because he's just been playing that well, that clean, and that elite. So I love Dak. I love the Cowboys winning this one.
I can't see him entering the MVP conversation.
Don't be a hater.
It's not that. Dak has been unbelievable. I loved Nick's take on saying like he could be second team All-Pro. And they lost that Carolina game. They lost that Arizona game. They're in second place.
That loss has happened, though.
No, I know, but they're in second place in their division. Not a lock to make the playoffs. Far from a lock to. I can't get there with you on MVP, but Dak has been incredible, Coach.
Yeah, Dak has carried this team.
He has been great.
The defense struggled so badly. Now they've made some improvements, and he's just carried them. And when you go into tomorrow's game, Dak's played really well on Thanksgiving. They've had almost a 17-point differential, winning differential over the last 3 Thanksgivings. So there's that. He's coming off the comeback victory. I like that as well. And then when you look at Patrick, the last 3 games, he's been under an 80 quarterback rating, which is the only other time he's has done that was 2019. So he's in a slump now. They won in overtime. I appreciate that, but the fact that they didn't score from the 3-yard line, first and goal from the 3, that bothered me. So if it was one game that I had to win the Super Bowl, I would typically take Patrick.
Yeah,
but.
Going with them Cowboys, Coach. Say it with your chest. You can say it.
No, I'm saying it with my chest right now.
So it's funny. Like I can't show you a number or a trend that I care about that would say Mahomes over Dak because Dak has been better.
Yeah.
The Cowboys' offense has been better, but I trust. Man, I'm sorry.
It's because you're going off his playoff resume. You're going off the fact that he wears the cape. But Dak has been equally good.
Actually, he's been better. He's been better.
Right.
But I will trust Mahomes. And I also will say, like you talked about the offensive line, I will trust the Chiefs' defense. The Cowboys' defense has been better recently.
Yes.
But like in terms of better relative to themselves, not better than the Chiefs.
So they started off horrible.
Started off horrible. They've made trades. They've gotten a little healthier. But Spagnuolo comes to play, and he has had a tremendous amount of success against top 10 offenses. Detroit struggled with them, Baltimore struggled with them, Buffalo ended up getting to 27, but it was not an easy 27 for them. Like
I agree.
They've done a nice job. Last week against Indianapolis, they did a really nice job. So I just think it's a tougher matchup, Dak going against the Chiefs defense, than it is Mahomes going against the Cowboys defense.
Yeah, I see that. Well, one thing that's interesting, though, is Kansas City now has had the same amount of turnovers of the last 4 games, 6, that they had in the previous 18 games. So It's really uncharacteristic run for them offensively. So that to me is problematic.
Have they solved it, or does that mean regression?
Which direction are we heading?
Right.
And last week, as the pick goes down to the 3-yard line, so it doesn't look like they've quite solved that, and it's going to continue trending in that direction. That could be a real issue.
I guess I think I'm just a little annoyed with your trust factor. Can you watch this Dallas team be down 2-1 zip and Dak put on the cape and wheel this team to victory time after time? Either with George Pickens or if it was Ferguson. Like, he responded in a situation of football. That 4-minute offense was, teach tape because of the way Dak played.
Dak has been great. I don't want this to take away anything from him. Like, if it was Dak against Josh Allen, I think it's a different conversation.
I think me and Coach would be willing to be prisoners in the moment. And you're like, I have too much equity in who Patrick Mahomes is.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Guilty as charged.
No, and to your point, if I was going into a Super Bowl game.
And this is not the Super Bowl, I understand.
But in this moment in time, and at this point, Dak's playing better, and I think he's going to play better tomorrow.
The Cowboy again. I will say it's a weird thing, and I admit it. Like, the Cowboys' offense is better than the Chiefs' offense has been. Dak has played better than Mahomes,
and
I trust Mahomes. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you.
The man went 1 for 6 in the red zone last week, and we're like, nah.
You're asking me to, like, Men in Black mind eraser the last 7 years.
Is that not what we do as analysts?
No, I don't think it is. I think we should factor it in, and we should factor in the sample and the body of the work and the trust and just the ability of, like, this is a big game with 50 million people
100%.
watching. I trust Patrick Mahomes in big games with 50 million plus people watching. It's been a pretty safe thing for the majority of my 30s.
Look, there are great players that go through periods where they don't play great.
That's true.
That's what the period he's going through right now.
Yeah, and again, I know people expect me to be like, and here's the number that tells you why. I'm like, nah, it's really just how I feel. It's just kind of how I feel. Tomorrow night, when the food coma is setting in, we used to be watching movies. Now we're watching the triple header, the third game of the day. Bengals-Ravens. Joe Burrow makes his return to face Lamar, who missed practice Monday. Did come back yesterday, says he's good to go. Here's Lamar on the matchup and the history against the Bengals.
Back and forth. It seems like every time we played them, we've been going back and forth. Great quarterback over there, great receiving core. So just looking forward to it again, Hopefully it don't be going back and forth. Hopefully it's one side and then it's our side. So, yeah.
Good job catching himself there. Coach, same question for this game. Who do you expect to have a better game, Burrow or Lamar?
It's hard to think that Joe Burrow is going to have a better game. He's thrown 36 passes the entire season. He's coming off of an injury. So there's that component of it. But these games have always been high scoring. It was at like 41-38 in overtime, something like that, and 35-34. So that's traditionally what it's been. It's not like the Bengals defense has suddenly gotten so much better during the course of the season. But Lamar's struggling. It's last three games, 1 TD, 2 interceptions, 71 passer rating, 57% completion, and he's got 20 rushes for 57 yards. So he's not running the ball very well, 2.85 yards a carry. And then he's been sacked 7 times, which is over 50% more than the rate he was being sacked last year. All those things lead me to think that Joe Burrow has a chance to outdo Mahomes or outdo Lamar, even though he hasn't been playing.
Yeah, this is got to have it for Lamar. I think when you talk about what he's been able to do, it's been modest thus far, to your point, Coach. But historically, I'm going to take a page out of your book, Danny. This is what he looks like. You got the graphic. He dominates the
so it's okay for you?
I'm just saying. I'm playing by your rules.
What did happen?
He's 10-1 versus the Bengals.
This graphic was not conjured up in the last 90 seconds since I made my point.
My point is,
interesting.
With all that said, Lamar has to ramp it up. This team goes as he goes. I think he understands the urgency in the moment. There is no more room for letdown games. I expect him to play big. I think Derrick Henry's going to move the sticks. Mark Andrews is going to be big in the red zone. He's going to close games. That's what's expected of him, and I expect him to dominate the Bengals like he's done historically.
Yeah, and listen, I think sometimes we just want to make these conversations like, who's better, Burrow and Lamar? But you guys know better than I do. It's a matchup thing. It's who's healthy. It's who are you playing. It's where's the game. What's the weather? There's going to be a million factors here. And I know Lamar's been struggling. It's very hard for me to see Joe Burrow, having been out for as long as he's been out, coming in, going to Baltimore, playing against the defense that
holding teams under 20 points.
Right,
Yeah.
six straight games holding teams under 20 points, and Burrow lights up this version of Baltimore. Now, if Lamar is just straight up hurt, okay, fine, but the Bengals defense has been a get-right spot for a lot of teams this year. So I'm putting my faith in the guy who's been playing, even if he's been playing banged up, as opposed to the guy going against the way better defense coming off the injury.
Yeah, but I went into the Jets game not thinking that we were going to see it 7-3 at the half with the Ravens trailing. I
Totally fair.
never expected that. And I get what you're saying about the guy who's been playing, but there is something to fresh legs, and there is something to being healthy, like physically healthy across the board. Now, I know we've got some rust that we have to knock off, but that
You would
might
agree, though,
be
these
an edge for
defenses
Burrow.
the defenses are in different classes, right?
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, they're in different classes. Baltimore's defense, though, has slowly emerged. It's not like they started in a different class.
I agree. No question about that. But I think now we have about a 6-game sample of Baltimore's defense rounding into form. Some of it against terrible opponents. No doubt this is a huge step up for them. It's a tough test for Burrow.
It's not even close. Bengals defense is garbage. They're not good. I expect Baltimore's defense and Lamar to put on a show tomorrow, and I expect Lamar to be the MVP. Hope not MVP, but come back into life.
We're actually speaking MVPs coming up. I will be the MVP of having seconds on Thanksgiving, but that's not the question. We'll discuss. Thanksgiving's the best. Food, family, football, friends, and then Black Friday, you can hang out with your friends here at FTFOT.
Yeah.
Good looking group.
We got the whole crew together, live Friday, reacting to the 3 games, previewing Caleb, and I guess they're playing the Eagles. So it's going to be a big game, and we'll be talking about it all 10 to noon. Come hang out with us on Friday. Time now, though, for a Thanksgiving edition of Who You Got. Got to get on record with these games tomorrow. First game of the slate, Packers-Lions. Coverage begins 11 a.m. Eastern on Fox. Packers 7-3-1, Lions 7-4. Massive game for the NFC North standings. Both coming off wins last week. Coach, who you got?
Yeah, I'm going with Green Bay in this game. And Dan Campbell, I respect the fact that he made the move that he made, and he didn't fire the offensive coordinator. He just transitioned play calling. And that's been a little bit up and down. And Jahmyr Gibbs was fantastic last week, but his pattern is typically has a great game and then tends to take a step back when you look at it over the course of the season. So I think this is a little bit of a step back for him. And the play calling for me from Detroit isn't totally worked out yet, and that gives the edge to Green Bay.
Willie?
Yeah, I have the Lions, man. I think the rushing attack for the Lions has really popped up to the page. You talked about Jahmyr Gibbs, but also I think there's been an emphasis of getting David Montgomery back in the fold as well. I also think the Lions understand, like, hey, that almost a letdown game to the Giants, that's not who they are. I expect them to be more motivated because they're going against a worthy opponent. And also, let's not forget week 1, right? Week 1, Lions, Packers, like, the Lions have to get their lick back, right? They walked off that field. They ain't feel good about themselves. So this is an opportunity to do it on Thanksgiving. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to have another big game. I know you're stat coach about him, not being able to bounce back. But I think right now he is their offense. He has to respond in a positive way.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'll break the tie and say the Lions. They're at home. And week 1, I think, matters. Familiarity with Thanksgiving, sure. But this just for a shot to continue to win the NFC North.
Yes, sir.
Like, there's not really a bigger game that you can imagine when neither one of these teams are in first place. They have virtually identical records. The Lions already lost to Green Bay here. So if the Lions have any shot at winning this division, they need this game tomorrow. Coach, you're the one with the upset. Who's the MVP of the game?
Yeah, I'm going with Micah Parsons. So he's kind of come alive the last few games. He got 3.5 sacks the last 2 games. And I think this game becomes a passing game. And Detroit's trailing the end, and Micah Parsons ends up beating the difference.
Willie?
Yeah, I got Jahmyr Gibbs, man. I loved him. I think last week and through the rest of the season, he's just been explosive. His speed answers all the woes for the Lions, and I think he's going to have another big game. I think he's in the rhythm.
I'm going Aiden Hutchinson. Both of these quarterbacks struggle when pressured. The Lions are just a little bit better at pressuring the quarterback. Pressure tends to go better for the home team, taking advantage of crowd noise. I'll take the best pass rusher on Detroit. All right, let's get to Chiefs and Cowboys. Highly anticipated game. Coming off much-needed wins. Very simple question. Willie Colon, who you got?
I got the Cowboys. This is their day. This is the day where the Cowboys shine brighter than any other team. I think Dak, we talk about, I think he's playing on the MVP level. He's elite. I think what he's been able to do and how he's been able to manage this offense has been absolutely spectacular. We talk so much about Stafford's clean operation, his efficiency. We got to see what Dak is doing, man. And I also think right now this defense has been playing better. Give them credit. You talked about them being healthy. Quentin Williams has been a big factor. I think he's added a level of leadership they desperately needed. And overshowing the rest of the group is getting healthy. I just expect the Cowboys right now to shine. I expect them to beat the Chiefs tomorrow night.
All right, Coach, join them.
I'm going with the Cowboys as well. And as positive as it was for the Chiefs to win in overtime like they did against the Colts, it was even more positive for the Cowboys to be able to come back from 21 points down and slay the dragon. They're really good on Thanksgiving. Dak's playing exceptionally well. I think that carries over and carries the day.
So, like, the guilty as charged, I already know, but, like, sometimes I just am looking for reasons to be like, oh, yeah, they are still the Chiefs. And the fourth quarter and overtime against the Colts felt like one of those. You enter that game down 20-9 in the fourth quarter. You have no business winning. Then you win a game in regulation that you did not lead literally the entire time. That felt a lot like last year's Chiefs. So I think the Chiefs are back.
Yeah, I think 5 field goals had the answer.
Yeah, that was a big part of it.
Bit.
And I'll just say this, as the lone guy picking the Chiefs, I'm going to go way out on a limb and say Patrick Mahomes is going to be the MVP of this game. I know.
Yeah.
I know. Can you believe it? I'm not even going to give you guys any explanation.
Jump out there.
I'm not going to give you any explanation.
I'm going to jump out there. Dak Prescott.
Wow.
Wow. He's going to be my MVP. I think he's going to light them up, man.
Well, you're both wrong.
All right, here we go.
It's going to be Javonte Williams.
There we go. Now some analysis.
And here's the reason why is they're going to put so much effort into stopping the passing game. There should be tons of opportunity in the running game. And Javonte's had an amazing year. He's averaging 4.95 yards a carry. It's the highest average since Ezekiel Elliott. 8 rushing touchdowns. Everything's going to be designed to stop CD and to stop Dak and to take your pick. The layers and layers. And this is the guy that's going to end up killing him.
Javonte Williams, I believe, was available for $3 million this offseason.
Yes.
You know, Chiefs did not really do much to address their running back needs. Like he's been one of the. We talk a lot about how the Cowboys are dysfunction and the Micah trade and all that. The Pickens trade has worked out great for him. And this signing, in terms of like bargain shopping, one of the best signings any team.
You got to watch in the second half of that game against the Eagles how he pass protected. I mean, he put his face in the fan a couple times with that.
He's a real player. Last but not least, King of the North, AFC North matchup. Bengals, Joe Burrow is back. Ravens on the massive winning streak, hoping that their quarterback is healthy. Very clearly, very easy question. Willie Colon, who you got?
Yeah, I got the Ravens, man. I think this is a gotta-have-it game for them. I think they have to stay pace. Obviously, for them, this is not just about Lamar. This is about them team getting back to being on brand, rushing the ball. Derrick Henry, you're talking about Mark Andrews, and also I think this defense, man. They've been keeping opponents under 20 points. And I think there's a brand of football they just have to get back to playing. That shaky win against the Jets didn't feel good. I think they get it right against a very bad Bengals defense.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you. I'm going chalk also. It just feels like too much for the Bengals here in Burrow's first game back. Their problem has not been scoring the football. Flacco's been good. So Burrow, I think, is a leadership boost. Chase back is obviously big, all of that. But, the Ravens' defense is really good. They're on the win streak. Cincy's defense is really bad. It's in Baltimore at night. I think this is an impossible spot for Cincinnati.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
so
Coach.
Baltimore was my Super Bowl pick, and I've been enjoying them clawing back up to the top of the division. Here's the intriguing thing about Cincinnati. Last year they made a late run. They won 5 games in a row, and I think this is going to be kind of the same thing. They get Joe Burrow back. That's a huge lift. They go on a run. They start the run tomorrow.
All right, listen, you're out there on the limb. I respect it. You got multiple.
They have a 1% chance to go to the playoffs right now. If they win out, they'll have a 46% chance.
Okay, all right. Well, all right. We'll see what happens.
Talking about believing, baby. Talking about believing.
All right, Coach. You're the only one bold enough to pick the 7-point underdog here. So who's the MVP of the game for Cincy?
It's going to be Jamar Chase, and this is a redemption game for him. And this is going to be like the first Pittsburgh game with 23 targets. He had 23 targets against Pittsburgh.
That game was crazy.
Yeah, and he ended up with 10 receptions for 161 yards. And then he had 19 targets against the Jets. That's going to be the deal. You better take away Jamar Chase because the ball's going to go to him a lot. And he's angry and upset and embarrassed about missing the game last week.
All right, Willie. Who's the MVP on Baltimore?
I'm going Mark Andrews, man. He's a matchup nightmare for any secondary, but I think when it comes to him and Lamar's relationship, man, Lamar looks for him, kind of like a security blanket. And he's an absolute threat in the red zone. And I wouldn't mind another tush push that goes yard. I wouldn't mind that. So
I will say, as much as I dislike the tush push, the argument for it is that Mark Andrews play and then the play that the Steelers ran. Against the Bears. There now have been 2 explosive plays off the tush push. I didn't say it, though, because I still want it banned. My MVP is Derrick Henry. Lamar has been struggling. Give it to Derrick Henry. The Bengals defense, they got torched by Breece Hall. They got torched by Kyle Monangai. This is a different caliber of player in Derrick Henry. I have no idea why the Patriots didn't give the ball to Trevion Henderson. He's by far their best running back. They just are obsessed with giving the ball to Stevenson. I think you can run on Cincinnati. I think Derrick Henry runs all over the Bengals. All of this is a big lead up to Black Friday.
Yes.
Caleb Williams.
Oh.
And that's what it is. You were thinking Thanksgiving.
I was thinking.
You were thinking family, friends.
Felt like that's where he was taking us.
And
you threw out the Bears stuff.
No, we're going to figure out who's actually good, get some universal agreement here ahead of your Thanksgiving meal, and who the best teams are in the NFL. Time now for First Things Last. Sometimes at Thanksgiving, when the extended family comes over, it can be a challenge to find safe topics with common ground. And football is usually a good conversational option. So I was thinking about things we could all agree on when it comes to the NFL, and well, maybe this year we should stick to politics. Seriously, have we ever known less at this point in the year? Now that Week 12 is in the books, I felt it was time to revisit a question I asked way back in Week 6. Who is good? And 6 weeks later, I think we know the Rams are good. Their quarterback is the MVP favorite, who leads the league in touchdown passes, and he's got a #1 scoring defense. But then what? The defending champs? They just blew a 21-point lead to Dallas and can't go 21 days without a story or stream or post shining light on dysfunction. The Bears and Bucks would be the 3 and 4 seed in the NFC if the playoffs started today, and both teams have a negative scoring differential. The AFC is a 6-team Spider-Man meme. The odds are insane. As we sit here today, 6 teams are 5 or 5.5 to 1 to win the conference. And sure, just like the tie goes to the runner in Little League, the benefit of the doubt going to the team that's been to 7 straight AFC title games, that's a reasonable reason to back the Chiefs. But they're also currently the 10 seed. If the bracket held in the AFC, the top 3 seeds are quarterbacked by Drake May, Bo Nix, and Daniel Jones, who boast 1 career playoff win combined. This is, of course, great for parity and sports television, but not great for agreement. So when this year, when you're passing your crazy uncle the pumpkin pie and he asks, hey, who do you like to win the Super Bowl? Be prepared to make a conversational pivot to a safe topic. Maybe try AI or crypto. That's all I've got for today. I'm very thankful for all of you who hang out with us on First Things First Overtime. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, and be sure to tune in for a special live 2-hour edition of the OT on Black Friday, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern.